Welcome back, crew, or with old gods, I should probably say welcome back, family, like they start the podcast with, because we are doing September's game of the month, the old gods of Appalachia, and today we're doing a live playthrough of it. Before we dive into the game itself, I want to give a quick shout out to the author, Shauna Germain. This time, usually I do a free PDF giveaway for at the end of the stream. This time, thanks to Shauna, we're going to be able to give away a free copy of both the core rulebook and the PDF. The hardcover, the core rulebook right
Ooh.
behind me, and the PDF to one lucky viewer. So shout outs to Shauna and Monty Cook Games. So if you win, and to enter, let me throw that in the chat. Just throw old gods into the chat and we will be able to capture you in with our Nightbot. And at the end of the session, we'll roll it through and one lucky viewer gets to take this home. One small restriction that we usually don't have, but with them able to give a physical copy, unfortunately, this would be U.S. only. So you got to be in the U.S. To be able to win this one. So hopefully, I know we've got some fans across the seas, but hopefully you guys are all U.S. and get a chance to win and bring this home. Yeah, let's set it up. So we are diving into the old gods of Appalachia world. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast, I highly recommend it. My wife and I love it. I actually tried to get her to play the game with us on this one, but she hates games, so no dice there. But it's an amazing podcast set in the old kind of Appalachians from the 1800s through the 1930s or so. It is kind of just a really cool feel. It's a mix of eldritch horror with kind of folksy tales, and it definitely kind of does a good job of like bringing in people, kind of bringing in like the personal aspect while still dialing up the horror. So definitely want to recommend. But yeah, let's get into our scenario here. So our crew of adventurers or heroes, or just kind of folk caught up in a bad time. They're going to be trying to help the citizens of a town named Coyote Run. Coyote Run is a little small speck of a town that, if you had a map, you probably couldn't find it on it. Before, just about a year ago, when coal was discovered in the mountains by the town. And with coal came new attention that the town hadn't really seen before. The Barrel and Lock Company wanted to come through and build a railroad and start bringing in miners to start lugging out that coal from the mountain. And for a long time, the people were happy. With the railroad and the mines coming, that meant new jobs, new opportunities, new ways to kind of elevate Coyote Run from barely a speck on the map to a town people want to go to. And for a while, that's what happened. Workers came in, started building the railroad, started taking out forests and laying down tracks. But eventually, people started disappearing. And some of these people were kind of will become victims of the brutal railroad practices. The Barrel and Lock Company wasn't one known to waste a dollar on safety, and a lot of people died working on those rails. But some people just disappeared without being connected. Some school teachers disappeared, some local farmers, with no real discernible kind of clue between it. And some people, kind of after a while, started to say that the Barrel and Lock Company messed with a force they didn't understand. That there was something beyond their kin within the mountains and the forest of the area that was pushing back against these newcomers that have started to devastate the land. And that's where our heroes are going to come in. These three adventurers, these three people of Coyote Creek, have decided to come together and see if they can figure out what's going on and see if they can find a way to help protect the people of their town. Now, with that said, we're going to go through and find out who our heroes are. One of the cool things with the Old Gods of Appalachia system. It's got a pretty cool way of tying people to each other in the adventure. I've really become partial to these. I think the first time I saw it was Masked. I really like these, especially for one shots, because it's a good way to tie people together quickly without having to set a whole session 0 session to go through and build backstories together. So who wants to go first? We'll pick on because you get two things with Old Gods that kind of tie you into both your character and the adventure. We're going to do your characters first, tying you into other ones, and then we're going to get to the spot that ties into the adventure. We'll do that kind of all at once. But who wants to go first?
I don't mind starting it off.
All right. And you were Cures What Ails You, right?
That's right.
All right. And that's one of the unique things too with the system is you kind of make who your character is using descriptors, your job or your character type, which is your class, and then your focus. So cures what ails you is your focus, and the focuses come with some different connections to the crew. So you're gonna get your choice of 4 of them. And actually, I'll let you. I posted this in the chat. Pick which one you would like to run, and we'll kind of go through that with the crew. Or you can roll a
All
d4,
right.
your choice.
You know what? Let's leave it a chance. Chance is nice. All right. So a D4. I should probably figure out those gosh darn Avray commands. There we go. 1.
Nice. And crew, this time we are, for the viewers, we are doing this old school physical dice, or sometimes the Avrai on Discord. But this one, I didn't want to do kind of a whole virtual tabletop. It's going to keep it a little authentic there. So
All that
4.
effort. Ooh.
So you get to so pick one PC, something in that character's past. They had a devastating experience while attempting something that you do as a matter of course. Whether they choose to tell you about it is up to them. So it kind of sounds like they failed at something that you're just really good at, that you could just kind of walk in and do. They had a terrible experience and failure with. So you get to pick who, and we'll kind of figure out what that experience was.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's do some more. I love chance because it just takes away any sort of agency from me. 1d2. That's Becca and the other character's name?
Jose Campos.
Jose Campos. All right. So Jose's 1, Becca's 2. It's Jose.
All right.
All right. So yeah, you failed at something terrible. And actually, Josiah, tell us a little bit about Josiah before we get into what he may have failed at. What's Josiah all about? What's he look like?
Josiah is a God-fearing preacher man, a devout pastor who cares about his community, and through one method or another seems to have the gift of healing in him. He's good at curing what ails you might say. He's got a big heart. He cares about the people around him, and the reason he's on this adventure is that he's realized maybe he's had his hands clasped in prayer for too long, and it's time he put him to work.
Nice.
As for looks, a very unassuming man in a wool coat, and older, slicked back, salt and pepper hair. Let's go with that. I like that.
That works. So Jose, what did you fail at? So it kind of sounds. So it sounds like Josiah is real good at talking to people. He's a preacher. He can kind of whip up a crowd. Really good at healing people too, curing what ails them. Jose, what may have you failed at that Josiah probably could just walk in and just whip it up? And is it something Josiah knows about?
Probably. I imagine that Jose's appearance in the town was very well gossiped about, and I imagine that Jose does not have the silver tongue that Josiah has. And he might have gotten himself in a lick of trouble when he was trying to gather information and not being terribly courteous about it.
Nice. All right. Well, Jose kind of caused a little bit of a stir when coming into town. All right. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
You've got shoot sharp and straight, right?
Yeah. So I was looking at the option. Another PC's mother gave me my gun. So I'm thinking. So a little bit about myself. I'm Becca Atkins. Woman in maybe her early 30s, leather pants, simple blouse, and a massive gun on her shoulder at all times. She gets by with what she can shoot and hunt in the woods, and is always up to ever since she was a little girl, getting up to trouble, exploring, and getting into places she shouldn't. And so Josiah, at some point, your mother just saw that she was trying to tell me to, live my life a little bit more careful, a little bit more planned out. But eventually, she realized that no matter what she said, I wasn't going to listen. So she says, "Well, if you're going to go out in the wilderness, you might as well be able to protect yourself." And that's where I got my gun from.
Nice.
Mima was a generous lady.
Jose, you last but not least, you take a chance, or do you have one off of "Can't Escape the Darkness"?
I do have one I'd like to pick.
All right, what do you think?
I'm going to go with number 3. Pick one other PC. This person always seems to see you, even when you're totally cloaked by darkness. And I'm going to say it's probably Becca and her very sharp eye. Now, for Jose himself, he looks like he walked off the side of the Maltese Falcon. Very much an outsider. Still with his, long, trench coat, the fedora on his head. And he rolled into town relatively recently. Although, he let it slip at one point that he does have blood ties to the area. But no one could ever recall ever actually knowing who he... No one could ever recall meeting him in his youth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we've got our crew of heroes. We're going to see kind of how they got on this adventure together. Because one of the nice things, too, so we went through their focuses, but their descriptors all have a little tie to the adventure, too. So with this, I'm just going to go in the order that I have it saved on my Discord. Who is gracious? That's you, all right. Josiah. You got kind of 4 options here with the initial link to the starting adventure. You get to choose kind of what it is and how you became involved. So you got 4 there. Even though the first one, even though you didn't know most of the other PCs beforehand, you just invited yourself along on their quest. You saw a PC struggling to overcome a problem and selflessly joined them to help. You're nearly certain the PCs will fail without you. All your life, you've helped one community. You thought it was time to help another.
Well, I don't know if Josiah's so full of himself that he's like, well, they're doomed without me. So I think I'll go with number 2. Solemn's struggling to overcome some sort of a problem, which kind of leads into the trouble that Mr. Campos found himself in. And having Josiah step in, I guess that kind of works together with that, possibly.
That does. And I'm going to give you guys a little option to see kind of how we lead into this adventure here. Because sounds like he got into town recently, got a little trouble with himself. So this town, because it's been kind of overrun a little bit. You see both people in the little kind of town of Coyote Run. Some from the Barrel and Lock Mine Company trying to preach about the virtues of the railroad and all the trade and commerce that have come through. Sometimes sweet talking to people, sometimes apply a little pressure to make sure they see the right way of things and kind of see the opportunity that's coming. Definitely one that if somebody came into town and rolled in, tried to speak against them, they may not look too kindly on it. On the other side, though, there are people that are kind of against this railroad going in. But the weird part about them is it's a lot of people you just wouldn't expect. One of the old grannies from kind of on the outskirts of town, known for fixing people up when they may have had a spill or two, is kind of saying that we don't need something like this desecrating the land. You've got others, kind of some of the farmers and old heads who've been around the town for a while who just don't want nothing new coming in. And some of those have been kind of getting into it with the railway supporters and trying to push this abomination out of their town. Jose, which camp did you run afoul of when you came into town?
It was probably the local townsfolk, people who were wanting to push out the railways.
Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe by his questioning and his initial appearance, they must initially thought that he was part of the railway corporation, and they did not take kindly to an outsider starting to press into their personal, Their personal lives, asking deep, probing questions, and not really giving much of a reason in return.
This town, it's a small town, one of those ones that pretty much people have known people from the day they were born, and they probably would get a little pressed with an outsider coming in and asking kind of what they think is unwarranted questions. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Josiah, how'd you diffuse that situation? Oh, actually, no, you didn't diffuse the situation for him. So yeah, you kind of got into a little bit of a funk, and Josiah may have heard about it as you came into town. And Josiah, you saw him struggling with that. What did you do when you saw him struggling with that?
Well, all about trying to make people feel welcome. Josiah welcomed them. Hello. Welcome to Coyotes Run.
He's right.
Welcome to Coyotes Run. It seems like you're not making very much friends around these here parts.
Which is
What
unusual.
brings you to our lover?
What brings me here?
Yeah.
What brings anyone anywhere? A woman.
Ooh, a woman. That's. I don't know where. You try to. Are you looking for somebody that might have ended up here? You mean?
I'm looking for somebody who might have come from here.
Ah, I see. Okay. Well, the way folks were spinning it, they thought you were part of the railroad company.
I took it by their colorful language that to be the case.
Well, your fancy duds definitely didn't help them with that assumption.
No, it seems like I'd walked into a bit of a powder keg.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of clarification on where you're from and what you're here for might help diffuse that said powder keg.
I imagine it would.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping the second impression's better than the first. And I guess that's how I diffused it. Hey, look at that.
Well, yeah, the local preacher coming in and showing some kindness probably would have some of those people taking a step back. We found out how Josiah and Jose met. So we got the next one of our two questions, and we'll get into the adventure in full. We got Brash next, which I think is Becca Atkins. What's your initial link to the starting adventure? You got four choices. You heard what the other PCs were up to and instantly decided to join them. You pulled everyone together after you heard rumors about something interesting you wanted to see or do. You blew all your money, and now you find yourself strapped for cash. You're in trouble for acting recklessly, and you join the PCs because they offer you a possible way out of your problem.
You are muted.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. I'm gonna go with pulled everyone together after I heard rumors about basically the prompt you gave us at the beginning, and I'm interested in finding out what's going on. I maybe lived in this town my whole life. I'm pretty familiar with Josiah, especially being close friends with his mother. So maybe I went and to ask you about it and stumbled across the two of you speaking. Y'all hear about the disappearances around the railway? I think I'm gonna go check it out. That's not my normal hunting grounds, but just want to let you know where I'm going if I don't come back.
Well, it would be nice to know why the pews have been emptier than usual. And if you're looking for somebody that's disappeared, Mr. Campos, I think that might be a good place to start.
I'd be inclined to agree with that, Father.
Gross.
Perfect. Well, brought into the adventure by Becca Atkins, telling you about these mysterious happenings going on. The crew has got a little bit of purpose now. We've got one last prompt on the side. So we got the skeptical Jose Campos. You got four as well. So what are your first one is you overheard other PCs having an opinion on something that you were skeptical about. So you approached them and asked for proof. One of the other PCs made you suspicious, so you followed them. You're trying to prove whether something is true or not, and you need money to do it. Your theory about something related to this adventure can only be validated by your own senses, so you came along.
I think probably 2 or 4 would make the most sense, considering what we've already built up. Yeah.
And I actually have a question too for this one. Out of game, tell us a little bit about this girl.
Well, not so much of a girl. He's actually asking questions about his mother.
Okay.
Yeah. Who was originally from here. Recently deceased.
All right.
Well, I guess we're not going to find her there. I hope not.
It's not about that, but it's more along the lines of why all of a sudden he's cannot escape the darkness.
Hey, see what you did there?
And your choice on this one, but I feel like 4 probably fits really well with it. You've got a theory about how your mother died, how you got kind of pulled into this darkness, and you're a skeptic. You can only believe what you find out with your own 2 hands and senses.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Well, now that you all kind of have a little bit of purpose and know kind of what's going on in Coyote's Run, you see the people are kind of all a little worked up this morning, we'll say. You hear a little boy running through the streets in this little dusty town, the early sun kind of poking up. You see he's kind of got a cake of dirt around him, and you hear him yelling out, "Oh, boys, you all hear what happened today? It's crazy. It's crazy. I never heard nothing like it, though. You hear what happened?"
No, what happened, son?
It's almost too good to be true. There's 2 things. You mean, we heard that there was this old lady talking about this bear that came by the tracks, and this bear started ripping up train tracks. A bear. It had vines following it. People saying she's crazy, but I saw some of those vines. I didn't see no bear, but I saw the vines. There's some people looking out by the tracks and trying to see what's going on and following those vines. But you know what? Some of the other people, some of the adults, they don't really care about those vines. They're a little worked up about this railway. They said too many boys died in this construction. They're trying to press the barrel lock out and trying to push him out of town. They're outside his office right now, shouting and chanting and trying to get him to leave.
My goodness. A bear, you say?
That's what she said. Like a big old bear just came in and ripped him off.
Yeah.
And those vines followed that bear wherever it went.
I may not be remembering too much from my zoology courses, but it doesn't sound like terribly usual behavior for a bear.
No.
Plus, we ain't near no zoo, so that ain't gonna help you. Listen, I ain't ever shot anything as big as a bear, but I willing to give it a shot, give it a try. Certainly expect its head to look good on my door frame.
Well, and what was that about? You said vines were following him around? Is that what you said?
That bear, that's what that lady said. I ain't seen it myself, but I did see the vines. And there's no usually vines by that portion of the track. But she said wherever the bear walked, vines followed after.
Wow. What a story. We're going to go take a look at that. Thanks, young'un.
All right. Yeah. Just remember, I told you, Pastor. You see the little kid kind of truck off down the street, kind of just shouting out the news to anybody he sees walk past.
Be good. Be careful.
You see him kind of look back and just smile and do a quick wave as he runs off to tell the good news.
Mm-hmm.
Good news.
Well,
Bears of unusual temperament.
not to mention those vines.
He might have been embellishing the story a little.
Well,
Only
might
one way to
have,
find
but-
out.
yeah. I reckon you don't see bears too much in the woods when you're out hunting.
not in these parts. I've heard of them from a few towns over, causing problems, but strange for them to come this far south.
And I want to get a look at those vines. All right, then. Well, shall we?
Let's show.
All right.
Perfect. So you guys head outside of town, and you see it's still like early. The sun is just peeking up, but people are up and awake and kind of some talking about the news, talking about this bear wrecking train tracks and the riot forming outside the Barrel and Lock office. But you guys are able to make your way through and kind of just leaving this small little speck of a town and kind of heading towards where the work camps and the railway is at. For a while, you kind of have just this. It's nothing outside the normal, especially Becca. You've been out in these outside the town a lot with your hunting trips, and nothing really looks off to you. But the closer you get to the railways, you do start to see just some vines and leaves. And the thing is, like they're not like vines usually kind of grow and they kind of grow and spread around. These ones are a little bit more on the pattern, but definitely a clear delineation, we'll say. Yeah, with that, you guys are able to, after a little bit of time, probably about a half hour's walk, able to make your way to the work camp. And you see a number of things pretty quickly, all at once. You do see, and whether it's Bear that did it or something else, you do see lines of track have been pulled out and just hurled around the area. Not like a ton of track, but definitely probably a good, probably quarter of a mile of the track just ripped out and just thrown and hurled around. You see bits and pieces of the metal railways dotting the land. And you see kind of out there couple of people though, and some of these just look like workers. You see people in hard hats, kind of carrying their pikes. Most of them not really doing any work right now, just kind of looking astonished at the work they've done, kind of being torn apart. But probably what catches your eye the most is you see a man in a pinstripe suit. Uh, and with that, actually, everybody give me an intellect roll when you see this. We're going to say the target number is 4 on this. So 4, and with the old gods of Appalachia system, the difficulty tier is 4, which makes the target number 12 on this one. So you guys get to roll your d20. And this is a little bit supernatural, we'll say. So if you guys have any skills or things on the supernatural side, let me know, and maybe to ease that down.
I am trained in all actions that involve seeing through a trick, an illusion, a rhetorical ruse, or a lie.
Illusion will work. You are eased on that side, so rather than a difficulty rank of 4, you've got a 3, so you got to beat a 9 on your d20 roll.
Okay.
And I am starting this session off strong with a 1.
What?
Oh yeah, baby.
I got a 14.
I got a 18.
Hey, you guys are just showing off.
Josiah, you look at this man. He's got a pinstripe suit. He's got a fancy haircut. He's got kind of pale skin and piercing eyes, but outside looking probably a little too fancy for these parts. He doesn't really stand out to you. Mm-hmm. Jose and Becca, you look at this guy. You see him kind of standing there. You see that same description Josiah got. But Becca, for a quick second, you see. And actually, let me ask a question here. I think this will help a little bit. Becca, have you known anyone in the town that's died in the building of the railway?
I don't think I have too many close friends or family members in town. I feel like I kind of grew up on my own, but there's definitely, I'd say there's probably some people out here that like I have passing conversations with here and there. Wouldn't call them friends, but definitely like a few names I would know of people who have passed away. Let's say 2.
You see, as you kind of look at it for a split second, you see Bobby. Bobby Lee wasn't a friend, but he's probably somebody that bought a lot of the things you hunted for you. Kind of a friendly guy that would just chat with you when he's picking up whatever the latest game you hauled in. And you see, looks kind of bloodied and battered. You see kind of like stitches right from that pinstripe suit guy to Bobby with half of his body caught beneath. Or kind of a mislaid piece of track that fell on him when they were trying to bolt it down. You see kind of his crumpled body, bloodied, and all that, just kind of interposed with the pinstripe suit. But you see it flick just like that and goes back. Jose, as well, you're new to town, and yours is kind of a little bit different. You see it kind of flicker, and you've seen darkness. You've kind of you can't escape the darkness.
Can I make a suggestion?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So, Jose Campos would have been the right age to have served in the Great War. So I'm thinking maybe he saw like an old war buddy, somebody who would have died, like like trench foot in the trenches, just like a really inglorious way to go.
We'll say not in the trenches. We'll say you saw this guy die. You are because this is way after World War or Civil War. So you saw like an old.
Oh, I'm thinking like World War One.
Or World War One even. You saw one of your buddies on that side. You guys were hopping a train to kind of get to the latest front. And that train got bombed. You made it out.
Yeah.
But
artillery fire.
Did you see kind of this pinstripe suit for Josiah? It just looks kind of like a fancy lad. But for Jose and Becca, where you see kind of death as you look at him, you see him kind of turn his head as you all approach. It kind of gave you guys all a piercing look before kind of putting on a smile that doesn't seem all that friendly. Definitely kind of a pleasant smile, but doesn't really kind of reach his eyes. And he goes, "Oh well, welcome." You definitely feel his accent kind of doesn't fit the local area. He definitely has one of those. Definitely, not even somebody that has like a New York. He has like I studied overseas accent. Definitely kind of that well-educated, well-money type accent, old money type accents. And he goes, "Oh well, don't think I've had your pleasure before. Come to see our new tragedy. It's been a terrible day for the rails, but we'll persevere. Have you come to help? We always need more workers."
Before saying anything, I'm gonna pull out. I have a camera and take a picture of him.
Okay.
Who needs social cues? No.
Hey, I'm brash. I just kind of do the first thing.
I know it's fine. It just tickled me.
Yep. So let's see.
Let's check on that one. Save DC or difficulty 4 is a DC 12 on that.
Sorry, what was the roll?
Intellect.
Okay. I think I want to put effort into this roll. So I spend 3 points for my pool, and that reduces the difficulty.
That's right. Reduces it down by 1, so that make it a difficulty 3, so a 9 target number on that.
All right. 14.
Solid. You see kind of like he extends his hand. You take that picture of him, and for a second, you kind of see that same flash of what you saw before, that same broken body as you come across. You almost feel like as you see him kind of not recoil, but kind of almost flinch just a slight bit as that camera flash goes off, and he looks at you with kind of a piercing look, and you feel just a little claw, almost like at the back of your brain. Unfortunately, you're able to push it off. And you see him just kind of straighten his face back out, straighten his suit, and he goes, "Wow, well, that wasn't friendly. I offer you a job, and you over here taking pictures of me. But my friends, that's a problem in the past. As I always say, in the service of these great rails, we meet sometimes the uncouth, but even the uncouth can serve a purpose."
Apologies. I'm sure Becca was just quite taken with your finely tailored suit. That is a lovely pinstripe. I'm Josiah Payne, A pleasure.
Josiah, do you see him kind of hold out his head? Oh, it is good to meet you, sir. My name is just, they call me Barry. But my name isn't important. What I do is important. You know what I mean? I feel like you know what I mean.
Well, I'm inclined to listen.
Well, that's good to hear. Because you kind of see him gesture around to the destroyed rails around him. We're out here trying to bring prosperity to this town. We want to bring jobs, and the railway is the best way to bring jobs and commerce. But some of these people, they couldn't show them the light if you held the face to it. And they come and wreck what could be good for the all. I just need a few hands, I would say. I mean, you all look, and he points to Becca and the kind of the big gun on their back. You all look pretty strapping. Even with some of the rudeness from before, which I said is already forgotten, I think you all could help us figure out who is tearing up this railway and put an end to them and make sure we can bring these jobs, bring this commerce, bring this opportunity to your town.
I hear it said it was a bear.
Now, I wouldn't say that. Looking at you and shaking your head, I feel like you are a smart man. Would you say a bear could tear up a railway? That's just superstitious talk. But sometimes you do see strange things. I think it's mostly just some of these people who are, anti-progress, shall we say. They may need a strong hand to guide them to the correct solution.
It takes a lot to bring civilization out here to the movies.
Oh, you telling me? Saying something I don't know.
He's gonna hold out his hand like Jose Campos, private detective.
Oh, Barry. I work for the railway. Some call me the railroad man.
I'm gonna just walk past him and start looking around the camp for signs of bear tracks, or something that might indicate that there's a evidence of a bear that I can use to prove him wrong.
Okay. Definitely. Do you have anything that could be used for kind of like awareness or hunting or tracking?
I'm trained in both perception and tracking, if either of those apply here.
Perfect. So sweet. Yeah, this is would typically be a target number 3, but you bring that down to 2. So you said to beat a 6 in your D20.
That's a 10.
Solid. You look through, and sometimes it feels like the vines almost cover it up. But looking through, kind of peeling back some of those vines, you do actually see a big old bear paw print in the dirt.
I'll move the vines aside and kind of stand up while pointing down at it, say, "Hey, railroad man, I found your bear."
You kind of see him look over. He walks over, and as you see him walk over, he walks over like somebody that doesn't have a care in the world. He walks with purpose, but it's definitely kind of more of a stroll than like a power walk. And he gets there and goes, "Well, that is a bad track. I thought that was just superstitious ramblings. You know how some of the people can get, but maybe they did have a bear out there." You kind of see him point to that gun he's holding. I feel like that would do a mighty good job of taking care of a bear for him.
What's in it for me?
Oh, I like you, Becca. That a girl like my own heart. That's the question to ask. Well, Barrel and Locke is financing this. And let me out of game. So Barrel and Locke, you guys will all be familiar with them. They are a very wealthy, very sometimes considered unscrupulous, depending on which side you're on. But they are a mixture of a mining and railway company. So Barrel has the mines, Barrel has the railways, Locke has the mines. Or the reverse, one of the two. So one of them has mines, one of them has railways, and they build these railways to link up the mines and kind of spread commerce all around the kind of Appalachian area. And they're definitely ones with deep pockets. They're known to be generous to those who get on the program with them. and harsh to those who don't. And he looks back and goes, "Oh, I definitely could make it worth your while. You know, I always like to put just a bit of kind of a couple dollars in the hands of those with the ambition to earn it. If you take care of this bear problem, and you know, it may be you found that bear, and I'm not disputing that, but I've never seen a bear tear up rails on its own. I feel like there may be somebody behind that bear. So we'll say you gotta see him look at this destroyer track. We'll say I'll give you there's three of you there. I want to make this worth your while. I'll give you $100 for the bear, $200 if you take out whoever is manipulating this poor old bear.
I think you mean like bring to the sheriff for arrest, of course.
Oh, of course I do. You know, but I've heard sometimes some of these radicals, you just can't take them alive. I don't want to see you all hurt with somebody that's just so unscrupulous. So you do what you have to do. You bring them to the sheriff. I guess that's an ending. I won't steer you one way or the other, but I want to make sure we know that they're done doing whatever they're doing.
You know,
I'll look him straight in the eye and say, yeah, I sure would hate for anyone unscrupulous to be causing us any problems. But we'll keep an eye out for your bear and see what we can find.
I just have to admit, Barry, I found it mighty curious that initially you discounted any possibility of a bear, and then once evidence of a bear has been presented, suddenly you assume that a person is behind the bear's actions.
Well, have you ever heard of a bear that will tear out railway tracks for the fun of it? I have.
Bears are curious creatures. Maybe they thought it was just a game of sorts, but you think somebody trained a bear to yank out railroad spikes?
Well, you know, Josiah, I have been traveling these rails all across this great country, and I've seen a lot of things I just can't explain. Maybe that bear did do it by itself. Maybe there's somebody pulling the strings. I mean, if you don't find anybody behind the bear and you bring me back that bear, you still get that $100 free and clear. So, you know, I trust your judgment, Josiah. You see him kind of plaster on a smile.
The smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes.
Still doesn't reach his eyes. His eyes are cold and definitely looking right at you.
It's the kind of smile you would see on a ceramic doll.
Well, I reckon we'll keep an eye out for that bear. And Becca here knows how to use that rifle of hers. She's had it since it was as big as her.
That's good to hear. And you see him kind of reach into his pocket, and you see him bring out 3 black cards. And he hands them to you. Take my card. I feel like you fellas are going to do some big things, and I want to make sure we stay in contact and make sure you get that reward that's deserved to you.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, Barry. And yeah, Josiah will take a card. Or take a card and take the cards and give it to the rest of the fine folks with him. Why not?
Jose will take one.
What am I supposed to do with this?
And you guys look at the card. You see it's like a black card. You see it has 2 R's on the front of it, and on the back of it, just kind of like a railway. Just kind of like a string of tracks.
I guess this gets us in the front door.
Oh yeah, I call it. It's my card. Everybody knows when you see that you're in good with old Barry.
All right. Well, I thank you for the card, Barry. You're a railroad man, you. Not what I expect to do with my day off, but I guess we're going bear hunting.
Before we head out, are there any? Did you mention there were like people working on the railroad, like normal workers in this camp?
You do see normal workers around. And they're so nobody's working right now. They're kind of all inspecting or they're inspecting the damage. So yeah, you do see kind of normal workers around. And actually, one thing I should have mentioned this too. So you guys do see kind of behind Barry, you see this robust gentleman. Will say he is big, muscled, at least 6'4", probably pushing 6'5", and he's just standing behind Barry, and he's got like the whole time you guys were standing there didn't say a word. You see, he's got like on a suit, but it's definitely a cheap suit. And his eyes, like Barry's eyes, the railroad man's eyes, just they seem cold and just disinterested. His eyes, almost looking into him, you could get lost in them, but not lost in the fun way. Lost in them because they just seem like they're just bottomless pits, just almost hollowed out. As he's standing behind Barry, you assume he's security. You assume I don't know what you would think about him, but you see he's standing close to Barry. But if you looked at him and smiled, even tried to engage him in the conversation, he would just kind of keep staring at you with those hollowed out eyes.
Is he armed with a weapon?
Yeah, actually, you see, he does have a pistol on his side. And he got his arms crossed behind him, and the pistol's the only thing you really see. But his arms, like it definitely looks like he's used to hard work, and looks like his hits could. If you got into a ring with him, you wouldn't want to take too many of those hits.
Yeah, so I'll head up to the worker who's like furthest from Barry and his friend, and just kind of ask the worker like, so what do you think of the Barry in the suit?
And you find a worker, even though he hasn't done much work today, already covered in dirt. Got kind of an old hard hat that's just dirted up, mud covered. You got some suspenders on. He looks at you as you come and goes, Barry, you know, I don't really like talking to him too much. He's a little highfalutin, a little creepy sometimes, but he's come through for us. I mean, I've never earned so much on a job before.
So he's treating you all right?
I mean, I wouldn't say all right. I mean, sometimes this work is hard, and sometimes people get hurt. But I mean, he's always pleasant. He always pays when the pay is due, and I made more here than I ever did farming.
Well, that's good to hear. Listen, I think you might find this useful, and I'm gonna hand him the black card that Barry gave me.
All right. You see him take the card, flip it over, and goes, "What's this?"
Hell if I know. And then I'll just walk away.
You see him kind of still puzzling out what it is as you guys walk away. What are you all doing next? Are you all following the vines and the tracks? Are you following or trying to figure out what the ride's about? How are you all proceeding?
Come on, boys. I'll show you where the bear's at.
Oh, all right. So I guess while Becca was doing that, Josiah would have just been taking a closer look at that bear print. Just trying to gauge the size of this thing based on the size of its foot.
All right. Yeah, give me give a skill that you think would fit this.
Nope.
All right, we'll
I
say
got nothing.
Not too hard. You found the track, so we'll say it's target number 2 on this side.
All right. I got a dice. Let's see if it rolls nice. A 9.
Yeah, you take a look at this. This is a big bear. Like probably not the biggest bear around, but it's definitely a big bear. And and you see kind of like it's pushed in the ground pretty hard. It's definitely a big weight. You see the paw print is large and wide. Definitely kind of it's definitely a mature bear. It definitely has some heft to it behind it. And you kind of look and you see some fur left behind in the print as well. And you see it's kind of got like a little bit of a black and gray coating to its fur.
I'm trying to remember. Is it black fight back? Or is it brown lie down? I forget. Oh,
I have no
either
idea.
way.
I should know. I live
Right.
there's some bears in Michigan. I probably should realize. Or
I
learn.
mean, I'm in Florida. My issues are closest to the ground. I'm covered in scales. So, but yeah. Either way. So you know what? Josiah's gonna grab that little bit of fur, kind of get it between his fingers, and then just let it blow into the wind. And then, well, Becca, if you know where that bear is,
I'll try to see if I can follow the direction of that track to another one, and hopefully another one, and maybe using some vines for guidance. But I want to really focus on the bear tracks.
yeah,
Definitely. So you're able to, and the nice thing with this is after you kind of pull some of the vines across, you see that the bear tracks are pretty easy to spot, and luckily the vines make it even easier because the vines are pretty much where the tracks go. So you are able to follow this, and you guys kind of move another half hour away from the camp. As you leave, you see kind of Barry's eyes, the railroad man's eyes, just kind of following you as you go, with his big goon behind him as well, just kind of staring at you as you all make your way outside of the camp. And you kind of go through, it's a half hour of trekking, kind of going from the cleared areas where the railroads can be built, where the forest used to grow dense and now been stripped down to the ground. You actually get back out of these clearings into the forest themselves. And eventually you approach this little, or not little, I should say. It's a pretty large river. And Becca, you're a hunter. You probably have been around this river before. It's known to have strong currents. It's definitely one that it needs a little bit of a strong swimmer behind it. But you see it coming through. And one of the things you spot even immediately, no roll necessary, is you do see some of the vines kind of look like it goes kind of just floating on top of the water through the river to the other side.
Yeah, looking like we're gonna need a cross. You think y'all can handle it?
Sure, there's
Don't
not a
mind
bridge
getting a
or
little
something
wet.
we can walk over.
Yeah, Becca would know this area is not developed. This is kind of the back country. There's no bridge out there. You either go kind of hours around the long way, or you kind of swim through.
I mean,
how wide is this body of water we're talking?
It's decently wide. I'd say probably three like Olympic swimming pools length.
What? That's
So I don't know how long an Olympic swimming pool is, but kind of three of their lengths across. So not crazy, but definitely one that could tire you out a little bit with the river pushing against you.
I got a 50-foot rope, but it looks like further than that. I wanted to throw a rope across to use for some guidance. I don't think it would make it all the way, it sounds like.
That's 500 feet we're talking about there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
crossing on that
all right?
side?
Okay, that's. You sure that's not a lake? My God.
You sure it's not the Mississippi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the nice thing with this too, if you have items like rope, if you could find a way to use them to make it easier, you could definitely use that to bring down the ease down the target number as well. And we're gonna say this has a target number of 4. A difficulty of 4, so a target number of 12, trying to swim through and keep yourself safe as you make your way across this raging river filled with vines.
Well, do those vines look sturdy enough to pull ourselves across the river?
They do look like, and you've seen some of these vines on the ground before. If you pulled and tested them, they do have some heft to them.
All right. Well, I've also got 50 feet of rope because Why wouldn't you bring rope on an adventure? Doesn't matter which one. All right.
Maybe we tie ourselves together and use the vines to cross, but if one of us loses grip on the vines, the ropes will keep us all together.
I
The
think
other
that's
two
not a
can hang
bad
on.
idea. Very, very, very good idea. Safe idea.
So
So
that
make
will
this a
work.
good idea.
That will ease you down by 1. So it'll be a target number of 3 now, bringing it down to 9.
All right, so I guess we'll. I hope one of us is good at knots.
Oh, no roll for that necessary. But I'm going to roll a dice myself. So
Uh-oh.
Jose, you're 1. Becca, you're 2. Josiah, you're 3, and 4 is my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my choice. Perfect. All right. Sweet. So you guys are able to tie the rope around you. It sounds like you all are going to be using the vines to pull yourselves across. Who's going in first?
I'll dive in. I'm not wasting any time.
All right. Everybody but Becca, give me a roll.
All right.
Well, that ended up behind my TV.
But also, while they're rolling, if you haven't yet, throw Old Gods into the chat for your chance to win a free PDF copy and hardcover copy, courtesy of Monty Cook Games. And I think we've got 5 people in so far. So make sure you're in on that side and get your chance to bring it on.
Is that the book behind you, Tegan? That's a handsome-looking piece of literature back there.
They've got some really cool art in this one. I actually like the art.
Yeah.
So definitely one you'd want in your collection.
By the way, I rolled a 9.
All right. Jose, how'd you do?
I got a 12.
Well, all right. So you all are swimming pretty well. But the weird thing is, you guys are kind of going through swimming. But as soon as you guys see Becca dive in and start trying to pull herself along the vines, you see those vines start to react. And we're going to be using one of the mechanics called a GM intrusion. So the vines start to react, and Becca, you see them start to retract, and you see it start to wrap around your hand, and you see those vines start to pull down. They start to pull you beneath the rushing waters, and you all see Becca, who initially was coming out strong, kind of making her way across, and you see her about partway through get pulled down below the rushing rapids. And with that, so the GM intrusion, you're going to get Becca 1 XP for yourself. XP are pretty cool in this system to use. You use them for advancement, but you can also use them for player intrusions. And each of your character types have different intrusions you guys can do. So you get 1 XP, and you'll get a chance to award somebody else with an XP as well. Because whenever the GM does a GM intrusion, you get a chance to get 1 for yourself and 1 for somebody else. So Becca, you're pulled beneath these things. This rushing water. You feel the oxygen kind of leaving your lungs as this is pulling you down, kind of gripping around your arms and starting to rip around your legs. What do you do? And everybody else, what do you guys do?
So I'm gonna give my XP to Jose. I think at this point Becca's pretty impressed that he's shown no fear of diving into the wilderness despite his city look. But given the current circumstances, I have a hunting knife I'm going to pull out and try to start cutting the vines away to free myself.
All right. So I'll give you a roll in a second. But Jose, Josiah, luckily you guys are strong swimmers and the vines didn't pull you all down. What are you all doing to help?
I'm going to pass Josiah my hat and say, "Hold this." I'm going to reach into my coat, pull out a switchblade, and then dive under. It's an expensive hat. Don't get it wet. But yeah, I'm gonna try and help cutting the vines.
Sweet. So you all get down there and start helping cutting the vines. This is going to be a target number 3 check, but one of you guys gets to make it, and the other will be able to support easing it down to 2 before any of your skills get applied. Oh, and actually, you guys both had blades, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
You can do Yeah, so actually, you all with that with the target number 3. So one of the nice things with this too are items that are useful. Ease it down too. You can have 2 assets that can ease down something. So you guys actually don't even need to roll. How do you all kind of cut through this vines as Becca started to get pulled down beneath the swell?
Yeah, I mean, I figured I'm used to kind of getting tangled up in stuff in the wilderness, and so I just so sort of that because I've done it so many times, that muscle memory comes into play of just like, all right, like I see the spot where I need to cut it, so that just a few quick cuts will make it so where I'm completely free. That's my approach to it, I guess.
Sweet. Jose, do anything crazy too as you cut away?
Mostly just when I see that she's actually working on cutting, I'll just try and grab her when I think she's free. Just kind of swim up with her back to the surface.
Perfect. You all break the surface of this kind of raging swell, cutting through the vines that trapped you. As you guys kind of look, and you kind of see this and kind of see some of the vines start retracting after you cut them and start to see the vines roll up a little bit. But luckily, you're able to kind of make it to the other side of this kind of raging river. And you see as the vines start to roll up, you start to see things kind of poking out from the forest. You all see 2 creatures, kind of first antlers kind of moving through. And Becca, you probably think this is just a deer, and you've seen deer in these forests every day. But as like the antlers poke through and the face becomes visible, you see these deer have about 5 eyes on each side of their face. They've got usually the deer, they're herbivores. They don't really have big teeth. These ones have a huge jaw, almost more like a wolf's than a deer. You see their antlers are twisted and kind of almost wicked looking with this pale, kind of white, almost similar to bone. And their eyes have a white glow to them, and their fur just stands up in tufts. And you see spikes poking out of bits and pieces around them. And you see these deer kind of glare at you, and you see one of them look to the vines and look back and just bare its fangs. We're going to get to our first combat, but we're going to take a quick break before we dive into that. So before we go on a quick break, if you haven't yet, throw Old Gods into the chat for your chance to win a copy of the book, both PDF and hardcover, thanks to Monty Cook Games. And we will be back in about 5 minutes. So come back at 8:20 as we dive into the first combat and the rest of the adventure. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of the Old Gods of Appalachia actual play, our September game of the month. Our heroes, they've taken a little bit of a path. They found this, we'll say, well-dressed man named Barry, working for the railroads, who told him about this bear, they found that the bear had come through and torn up tracks and left a trail of vines behind it. And you all were able to follow the vines, even though these vines almost seemed to turn against you as you went through this raging river. And as you all cut poor Becca free and made your way up up and out of the river, you saw these creatures poking their heads out from the forest. You see these wicked-looking deer, or not deer, type-looking creatures with vicious teeth, 6 eyes or 5 eyes on each side of their face that glow an eerie white. And you see them baring their fangs, lowering their antlers, and are poised to strike. So we're going to get into our first combat. For initiative on this side, you're going to make a speed check. And with that, it's going to be based against the creature's target number to see if you go before or after the creature. And then you guys, within that order, can kind of determine when you as players go. So everybody give me a speed check. And what is that target number for this creature? 9. So you're beating a 9. See if you go before or after it.
I am trained in initiative, so it sounds like I need to beat an 8.
Or you need to beat a 6.
Right. Okay, I did 5 3s. Yeah, I rolled a 16.
Nice.
Dang.
I have rolled a 19. Huzzah.
I got a 10.
All right, so all 3 of you guys are on the ball. You saw the vines working against you, and you're seeing as they start to roll up, and probably expect something sinister to happen. And you look up and you see these creatures move, and as they waste time burying their fangs, you all spring into action. So as players, you guys get to kind of determine amongst yourselves who goes first and how you act. So these creatures are a small distance away from you. So what that basically means on that side is you would have to, if you have a melee weapon, use your action to run up on them. But if you have a ranged weapon, you can attack them. And they pretty much outside of that, that's where they are. So you can use your action to move, attack, activate a weapon or spell or thing that you've got, and anything you want. So you 3 are up. Determine how you want to handle it.
I mean, I think we all know what Becca's going to do first.
Yeah, I think we know what Becca's going to do first.
She's going to talk this out. She's going to talk.
Yeah.
She's going to commune with nature.
But unless y'all have something you want to do real quick, I'm going to unsling my heavy rifle and fire a shot at the closest one.
All right, go for it.
I think Jose's going to grab his hat off of Josiah's head first.
So for a rifle shot, that would be a speed check, and you've got to beat a 9 as well.
I'm going to put some effort, and I do have 1 speed edge, so I spend 2 from my pool to do that. Brings it down to 6, and I rolled a 17. And the heavy rifle is a heavy weapon, so it normally deals 6 points of damage, but as a gunner, I deal 1 additional point of damage with guns, so that's 7 damage.
Solid. How does it's still standing, but barely? It's definitely kind of bloodied off. How does it look as Becca slings and lets that shot off?
I think I maybe blow one of its antlers off, and the antler embeds in a tree behind it.
Nice. You see it kind of howl out, this kind of further as it howls out, almost more wolf-like than deer-like. Definitely kind of furthers its kind of otherness as you see it. It's bloody. You see blood kind of pouring down its eyes. It definitely looks pretty hurt from the blast. All right, Jose, Josiah, what are you guys doing?
Well, I figure I can do everything, Josiah. I'm going to shoot
it. What's the preacher going to do?
Fair enough. Yeah, Jose is going to reach into his coat and pull out a Comanche semi-automatic pistol and basically just say, "That thing's not a deer!" as he could take a shot at it.
All right, give me a speed check.
I will give you a speed check. All right. I got a 13.
Nice. Yeah.
And because I have Weapon Wielder, I do +1 damage to ranged weapon attacks.
Solid. So, what type of weapon do you have again?
That's a medium weapon, so I do 5 damage rather than 4.
Sweet. Are you shooting the same one Becca shot or the other one?
Probably the same one.
Put it down.
Yeah, just fire once, twice, 3 times. Trying to aim where I think looks like the head. That's what I'm going for.
You put a bullet into its head right between all 10 of its eyes, and you see this creature fall to the ground, and you see its blood kind of pouring out, and on its flesh, it looked green. It looked red, but as you see it kind of hit the grass beneath it, you see it has a greenish tinge. And you almost see kind of little vines sprouting out from the blood as it kind of plops to the grass. Josiah, you are up. Just
Okay.
one of the not deer in front of you.
So how does spending intellect points work again?
So you could spend so for effort, if you have an ability that could use intellect to mess with these deer, you could spend 3 points of your intellect, which will ease down whatever you do. And you guys already know the target number for this deer; it's 9. So you can ease it down to 6 for whatever that ability is.
Well, I've got an ability that's called Bewitch. It costs 1 intellect point. And while talking, you grab and keep another creature's attention, even if the creature can't understand you. And then
Okay.
for as long as I do nothing but speak, can't even move, the other creature takes no action other than to defend itself, even over multiple rounds. If it's attacked, the effect ends.
All right. So yeah, do you have an intellect edge at all?
Yes, 1.
Sweet. So it's no cost to you then.
Okay.
So give me an intellect roll. Are you spending effort to reduce the target number, or are you keeping it at 9?
Yeah, let's bring. I want this to happen.
All right,
Yeah,
so that'll still be 3 points because you can only use the edge once per action. So the edge takes out your the cost for the ability, but you just have to pay the cost for the effort. So 3 points, but that brings it down to a 6.
Okay, so 3 points from my pool for intellect. It's okay. That's I got plenty to work with there. All right, so let's give it a roll. 17.
Solid.
Mm.
Josiah, what's your speech? Or give us a little taste of your speech as you kind of bewitch this poor deer.
Easy there. I don't remember you being described as one of the animals on the ark, but you're one of God's creatures, aren't you? We're all God's creatures. Take a moment. And I'm just, magnanimous, right? Just maybe the hand motion's what does it. Who knows? But just big sweeping gestures. And then how I may not recognize you, but I do recognize you as a product of our God. I hope.
You see this creature whose fangs are bared before its antlers down as if it was posed to charge. Kind of just like go slack jaw. You see its mouth is hanging open, its tongue is hanging out, and it's just kind of staring at you, just almost nodding along as you've seen people in your pulpits or your pews do before. It's kind of that same nod as you go on your sermon. But as it starts to nod along, you all hear a little bit of a rustling in the forest, and you see a person walk out. And you see this person. She's got on some homespun clothing, kind of a rough tunic, some jeans on, and you see she's got some vines kind of trail both down her legs, around her arms. You see, even in her hair, we've got this long red hair. It's bound by a vine. She's got fiery looking eyes. You see, she's got her gun pulled, and she's kind of alternating between the 3 of you. And she kind of spits and goes, "We don't want your kind out here. Y'all better get going and get it. And we're out of it. We're out of initiative right now. That deer is bewitched. And he said it goes as long as nobody does anything hostile to it. It doesn't do anything hostile, right?
And I think as long as I do nothing but talk, I can't move.
Okay.
So, all right, well, you'll have to pardon my ignorance, man. But what is our kind? We're all different sorts.
Yeah, you know who you are. I can smell that stench off you already. You lot through your due-in with the devil, trying to collect your silver pieces. I just gotta say, go on again. I won't have to use this on you.
Ma'am, the only thing we're trying to collect here is information. We're not necessarily working for the railroad.
And
It's mellow.
I personally take offense to that insinuation of yours. I would not break bread with the devil or anything of the sort. I'm a man that fears God.
You could smell him on us?
You see her kind of nod, but Josiah, give me a intellect roll, because intellect for those who are watching the stream is kind of a mixture. For if you're used to 5e or Pathfinder, it's a mixture of intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So give me an intellect roll. She's got a decent target number though. Her target number is 4, so that would be, or her difficulty tier is 4. Her target number is 12 for that.
Well, I am also trained in all tasks related to pleasant social interaction, putting others at ease, and giving trust.
That'll work. Bring that down to 9.
Okay, let's see how this plays out. Screeching by with a 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough. And she goes, kind of, you see her, like, she doesn't bring the rifle all the way down, but you see her kind of tilt it, like it's angled now more towards the ground, but it's still kind of up and ready. She goes, I smelt him on you.
I'm gonna pull out the card.
I don't want to shoot you.
And referring to this, ma'am?
You see her look at that card. You see her spit again. Doesn't raise her rifle, but she does kind of glare at you. I knew you all were in his pocket.
Take that and just rip it in half.
You rip it in half?
Yeah.
All right, give me an intellect roll.
Oh, okay. We're doing this. All right. Yeah. Like I'm intending to destroy it just to show that I'm not, I'm not in his pocket. 11.
All right. Unfortunately, it is not enough. You try.
Can I help him somehow?
Oh, we'll see after. So you see Jose kind of reach up and with a flourish, like he starts to rip it. And you see, like before even the paper tears the slightest, his eyes like flash a bit, and then you see him kind of like. Actually, I'll see how Jose. You feel kind of this weight, and you just feel like not your mind pushing against you, but it's kind of like that primal, like danger sense in the back of your mind pushing against you, and you kind of see that buddy that you saw kind of get blown up on those train tracks. You see his face, you see that bomb blast, and you see kind of the railway afterwards, and you kind of see that all flashing, and you just kind of feel just a little bit of pressure. You kind of feel it almost slowing your hands to stop them as you try to rip it up.
I think he's going to drop it and step away like it tried to burn him.
You try to drop it, it's just in your hand. Like you let go of it, it sticks to you.
But what the hell?
Throw in with the devil, that railway, man. I told you, just go on, get. I don't want to have to put some hot lead in you.
These are your deer?
They're not my deer. I'm just here to help protect what needs protecting.
Is that what that bear was doing? Protecting what needs protecting?
Was it even a bear?
You see her kind of look, go apprehensive, but she looks back to Josiah before kind of softening her face a little bit and goes, yeah, he was protecting what needs protected. These people, I mean, You kind of see her face soften again a little bit. I know they're desperate. I know they need new opportunities. A barrel and lock and the railway, those aren't the opportunities. They're coming through and destroying what's been here for centuries. Somebody has to stick up for it.
What's in it for me if I help you?
You see her, like, she spits again, and some of that softness goes. I don't need your help, but if you're looking for a payday, that rail man is probably your best bet, buddy. We're out here just trying to protect what needs protecting because it's right.
Josiah's also going to try to get rid of his card after seeing the difficulty that Jose's having with his.
All right. So target number 4, or difficulty tier 4, target number 12.
Seven.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, Josiah, you didn't really you didn't get to see the railway man's face, the railroad man's face. You're a preacher. You probably know, even if you're not friends with, you probably know most of the people in the town. You've probably seen some of your parishioners kind of suffer a terrible fate at the railway. What's one that stands out to you? What's one that probably stuck with you more than the others?
A very recent father who signed on with the railroad to provide for his family was one of the first casualties. Just didn't even really kill him, but it maimed him. He went from being a able-bodied man to a shell of a man who can, instead of providing for his family, has now become a drain on them. And that breaks my heart. And Josiah does what he can from the church's coffers, but it's only so much he can do. That stuck with him.
Are you trying to rip it, what are you trying to do with the card?
Let
it go.
Be done with it. Yes.
You pick it up and try to fling it from your hand. You see that man's face. You see first his face that kind of draws out. You see him whole, healthy, and good spirits. You see him like providing for his family, and you see this accident that took place where they were trying to burrow through a part of the mountain to make the rail track go. You see the TNT explosion go off, and his arm get caught and up in the blast, and him survive. But you just kind of see that healthy, hearty face morph into a gaunt, haggard, and often drunk. You just kind of feel that both despair, but it's also kind of tinged with a different flavor too. You feel despair, but it's also kind of mixed with the opportunity that he had at first. You feel despair, and you see kind of the lifestyle he was able to provide at first, and it kind of tugs at you. You kind of feel that card just sticking to your hand as well.
My goodness. I shook hands with him, man. What? Why can't I let this damn card go?
That's how he does. He puts his teeth in there. He just won't let go.
Good.
You got all those people, a nice suit, and a man with a fancy accent. And he thinks he can warp everybody to his views. I think you all are good people, but we need to protect the green.
Wait a minute. Could I try it again, but this time could I call upon some of the power I have?
What power do you have?
Nothing mechanical, but I am kind of escape the darkness, which means I kind of carry around something dark within me. And it kind of manifests through shadow. So what if I could step into maybe one of the tree shadows and then just kind of try to call upon that just to sort of give me a second shot.
Okay. So
I'm willing to spend intellect to make that happen.
So there's gonna be two things on this one then. You could definitely try to call upon the shadows, try to push your own inner darkness to see if you can repel the railroads, and it's a darkness but of a different bent. To see if you can kind of push it off of yourself. But this can be a little bit costly. So it's going to be the target number of 9. But you also, just to attempt the action, outside of the effort, can have to spend 3 intellect points to be able to attempt to try to call upon that darkness and push it off of you.
Let's do it. I do have an edge, so I spend 2.
All right.
And I think that's how that works, right?
You keeping the effort at base.
You know, yeah. No, I'm going to spend 3 more in order to lower that difficulty. So that puts me down to 8 intellect. Okay. Let's see what happens.
Not good.
Yeah, well, you know, I had that XP point. I'm going to spend that for a reroll, which I think I can do.
I don't think XP gives you a reroll. Does one of your abilities do that?
I think I remember seeing that in the list somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Well, reroll.
Rolling to
Yeah,
die.
it's under immediate benefits under spending experience points.
Ah, okay. Then let's do that. 16.
Nice. It's a struggle at first. I will let you kind of explain how your inner darkness manifest, but you are able to push back against you. Right? You kind of feel like this inky claws of the railway, just this intense greed that almost feeds off of the despair and lives lost in the pursuit of expanding its own rails, and it fights hard. And for a moment, it almost overtakes you. But your own darkness is able to your own darkness has its own claim on you, we'll say. It is not one to share.
No, this like you said, yeah, something has staked its claim to Campos's soul, and it does not want anybody else to try to get at this. So yeah, I would say while he's in the shadow, there's like almost like a pressure more than anything else, but then kind of small, kind of like ribbony tendrils come out from nearby shadows, grab the card, and just tear it to pieces.
You see, kind of as you do that, she's still got her gun pointed down. You see, like almost raises it a second as these shadows pop out, almost like takes beat on you. But as she sees the card get destroyed, she points her gun a little bit lower, a little bit more towards the ground and away from you all. And she kind of looks a little relieved. Still, like she likes Josiah. You can see a friendly but cautious look at him as he still has his card in hand. But seeing that Becca and it's clear, and Jose was able to break his own hold on it. Becca, I don't know if you remember, but somebody else has a fun card that she handed hers away. Giving it away is a free thing, but yeah. You see, she kind of looks and she kind of breathes a sigh and goes, "All right, you lot seem like good folk." Kind of see her actually holds her slinging the rifle back over her shoulder, and she goes, "I'm not going to shoot you all. It seems like you all are trying to do the right thing, but I can't let you find the green or go after that bear. I just can't let that happen. We need to protect it."
How long you been in these parts?
You see me kind of I've been here most of my life. Parents, unfortunately, they suffered a spell and didn't make it through and passed away when I was young. And I just wandered off and wound up in these woods, and I've been here most of my life ever since. Sometimes I may wander into towns and you kind of see her pat the rifle and pick up some supplies, but usually I'm out here and taking care of those who took care of me.
How come I never seen you around here?
I usually don't want to be seen.
That makes 2 of us.
Now, if you all try to be real good folk, I could use some help. We need to make sure this railway is too hard to make, too expensive to build. we need to get rid of it. We need to push out this railroad man and those unholy goons that follow. I don't know if it's something that you all be willing to help with, but I'd mighty appreciate the assistance.
I must say, I do feel deceived. What I thought was a offer of generosity seems to have been some sort of entanglement that I'm going to have to seek guidance from God on.
So you goes, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't feel particularly kindly towards Barry, the railroad man, currently. And if this is how he conducts business with trickery and deceit, then I can only imagine that the railroad is likely a source of malice, and that I do not want it going through my town.
You see your nine and go, trickery and deceit, that's his language. Only thing he cares about, and you see, she kind of spits and goes, the only thing he cares about is that railway. He ain't no man, though. He's something else. He not part of the green, not part of the dark. He just is, if I had to say, he's part of the railroad himself. Not some type of digging person, and not some type of thing you can kill, but it's something you can kind of get rid of for a time, if you know what I mean.
Not entirely, no.
He goes, I've heard of folk, others that protect the green that have tried to put a bullet between his head and thrown some, burn him alive. And he'll burn for a bit. That bullet will sink for a bit. A couple weeks later, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, he'll pop up another section on the railway trying to keep expanding it.
What about that big friend of his? You know anything about that fella?
That's a nasty fella. He's like, he used to be like us, just a regular old person. But some people make deals, it's not good for them. Deals with the devil, as our pastor friend may say.
Mm-hmm.
He got all hollowed out and took everything that was human about him and got placed with some power, but mostly the will of the barrel lot company behind him. Most folks I know call them hollow men. They're mighty strong, and hard to kill, and very, very loyal to whoever's holding their leash.
Well, I've been on the fence about this whole railroad deal ever since it started up here. It's been making finding prey a bit harder, but all the commerce coming in town has made the price of bullets a bit cheaper, so that's been nice. But with everything I've seen here, seems like it's only going to get worse from here on out if that railroad gets built.
No, I've seen a promise of sorts go out to many folks, and many more of them come back or don't come back at all. A promise of money, being able to sustain yourselves and your family, and then at the end of it, what do you get? If you've got a method to harm this Barry, this railroad demon, and I'm all ears. And he's still trying to shake the card off, but he kind of like it's like a stick. It's like a piece of gum or something. It just won't come off.
You just shake it. It's just sticking to you. This just inky black card with the RR on the front and rails on the back. It's holding to you. You see her kind of ponder for a moment and go, often heard it's best to give folks taste their own medicine to make them go away from you. I don't know if this is going to be able to harm the railroad, man, but I know this is going to harm the railway. The Green wasn't fond of this idea, but I think it may be the best to protect it. You know those railway people? They got a lot of TNT, a lot of dynamite. I think if you could go spread some of that dynamite along the tracks and have it go up, and hopefully if we can catch old Barry in the blast, we may be able to at least disrupt their efforts, make it too costly, and maybe keep Barry away for a bit.
I like the sound of that plan.
Josiah's gonna like dip his head and like mumble an "Our Father" to himself. Our Father, who art in heaven, the daily bread. You know that whole spiel.
You see, she goes, it's good to keep the faith. You keep your faith up above, and you kind of see her pat one of the vines. I keep my faith in the green. But we're gonna make sure we give you all some help. And since I forgot to do this ahead of time, you guys get your ciphers, which I meant to do that when we started the stream. But yeah,
That
you
was
can get them
that was
from
planned.
the green. Yeah. So you guys will get your ciphers. I think you all already rolled, so let me know what you rolled. But hold on a second, let me get to the cipher page. So ciphers, if you guys are unfamiliar with the cipher system, which Old Gods is based off of, it's a kind of their single-use magic item that does something fantastic, and basically you can activate it, and it'll do something cool for you. One nice thing too is if you have a player intrusion, or not a player intrusion, if you have an XP, you can do a player intrusion to give yourself an extra use of your cipher before it goes dry. So note on that side. And what did you guys roll on your D100 rolls?
I got a 34 to start with.
All right, you get a death's candle, which we'll find out what that does in a second.
Ooh.
I got a 40.
40. All right, let me post this real quick. So death's candle, you get a small, so it's a small black hand-rolled candle that's half burnt, half filled with herbs, and you kind of see her sling down the sack on her back and hand that out to you. And what you can do with this is you can use the candle while saying a prayer of protection. The candle burns for a number of rounds equal to the cipher level, and roll me 1d6 plus 4, and that'll let us know what that cipher level is. And during the time, you are protected from death or being moved down the damage track, which is nice. While the candle burns, if you would normally die, you do not, and instead reject all damage. For example, if you have 5 points left in your last pool of full and fix 5 points of damage on you, which would usually reduce all your pools to 0, you take no damage. So it kind of basically protects you from that last death on that side and helps you, stops you from moving down the damage tier. And I'll post this in our Discord too. Let me throw that in real quick and we'll get to see what 40 was. And these are single use, and this is a one shot, so make sure to burn them up. So that's Death's Candle. You got a 40 on that side. So that's a Falcon's Eye. I don't know what that is. So figure of a bird's eye carved from dried beech. Beech wood. To activate the cipher, you hold your hand over your left eye while looking through the center of the figure with your right eye. You can then see 10 times as far as you can for 1 hour per cipher level, and this one is just 1d6. Just straight 1d6 for the cipher level.
What's it? 2.
Nice. All right, Josiah, what'd you roll?
21.
21.
Yeah.
You get a charm of retaliation. All right. Sounds nice.
Yeah.
So this is a necklace strung of deer teeth and dried elderberries. Definitely fitting. This is a fitting one, I feel like. Dipped in a creek on Easter morning. You place the necklace over your. To use it, you place the necklace over your head. For the next day, anyone striking you receives a magical shock that inflicts 1 point of damage. And roll 1d6 because it can be 2 points if you roll a 4 or better.
Oh, 1d6.
Mhm.
Hey, that's a 5. Thank you, Avery. I take back every bad thing I've ever said about you.
Perfect. You will get. Oh, actually, no, Jose, because you're a protector, and for viewers on this side, protector is the only one that listed 2 ciphers. The other ones didn't mention any ciphers, but I thought they were supposed to get ciphers. So I checked on the Discord. And usually, what people do is keep the protector at their 2, but give everybody else 1 cipher, so they get something cool they can do.
Okay.
So Jose, what was your second cipher's roll?
11.
11.
Ooh.
Blessed strings. All right, not what I expected when I heard strings. Catgut strings made from a 3-horned goat. When the strings are played on an instrument, the ensuing song restores a number of points equal to the cipher level to the intellect pool of up to 4 allies in long range who can hear. And you roll 1d6 plus 2 to determine what the level is. So you see her pull all of these gifts out of her bag. You see her put the charm of retaliation around Josiah's neck, and she goes, "Now I can see you struggling with that railroad's darkness. You get a chance, make them hurt with you." And you see her hand out the eye to Becca, and she goes, kind of pats her own rifle and then looks at Becca's admittedly larger rifle and goes, I feel like you got a keen eye over there, Missy. Now, if you get a chance, make sure to put this one to use and see how far you can see. And you see her pull out 2 gifts for Jose, and she goes, "Now I can see this darkness is really playing with you, and you got your own little darkness that's playing back with it. Take these." You see her pull out the candle and the strings and say, "At least keep that darkness at bay with the candle. Keep death away from your door. And hopefully these strings will keep you and your companions' minds sound as you all fight the good fight."
I appreciate that. Thank you. And don't worry about me and death. We're all friends at this point.
You see her kind of nod gravely and say, "Imagine you are." So she goes, "All right, now I'm trusting you all. I gotta stay with the green, make sure nobody else tries to take up that fool's errand and hunt down the bear and what's protecting it. But you all go and tear up that railroad for me. Make sure to send that little railroad man back to where he's from for a bit."
All right.
Give it my best shot. I do apologize about that first year there.
You see, kind of, she nods and looks at the poor fallen creature. And you guys see that blood that spilled that was kind of making these little vines is spread, and larger vines are growing from it. She goes, "I appreciate you apologizing, but things that come for the green eventually go back to the green. That's just the way of it. I'm just glad you all didn't keep going when you didn't need to."
So we got a river to cross again.
No.
But
Now-
maybe the vines will be a bit more helpful this time.
Yeah.
Maybe the vines
Or-
can make a boat.
Well, perhaps your familiarity might point us in a better direction to cross this here river.
"Oh, don't you all worry about the river none." And he kind of looks at Becca. I do apologize a bit for how it was eager the green was to protect itself. you all go back to that river. You all can just walk across the vines. You'll have a pretty easy crossing.
It almost feels blasphemous, but thank you.
Unless you don't start turning water into wine, I think you'll be fine, Padre.
As we start making our way back to the railway camp, I want to say to Josiah, you know, I've only been to church a handful of times, but even Jesus flipped a few tables, so I think it's time for some action.
You would have paid attention when you ransacked the temple.
My favorite Bible verse who ever spoke.
Well, it's all part of the good book. And sometimes when people let greed take over their minds and hearts, there is no other alternative but violence. And I think that might be where we've been led to here.
So you all are able to make your way back along the trail you followed, and this time you see those vines when you get to the river, almost as hard as cement as you walk across, keeping you above the raging waters, making it an easy crossing, especially far easier than you came across before. But as you start coming back, it's only been a couple of hours. You guys left early in the day, but the closer you all get back to the kind of the railway lines, the darker it gets. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it looks like it's 8 o'clock at night. Just kind of this unhealthy dark following over the area, just kind of making the land look twisted and shadowy. This kind of almost feeling like there's a horror behind every corner as you all kind of backtrack your way towards the camp. As you guys approach go ahead.
No, Josiah's just gonna check his watch and that doesn't feel right.
Not much about today's
all I have.
felt right.
No. It's been a strange day. It's only gonna get stranger.
All right, we're gonna do another little GM intrusion here.
No.
But this time, Josiah, you're not part of this one. Becca,
Go wild! Yeah, all right.
Becca and Jose. I'm gonna roll a D4. Becca, you're 1 and 2. Jose, you are 3 and 4. As this
Okay.
goes on. 3. So you guys are walking through this camp with this unnatural dark, and all of a sudden, you all hear kind of just a yell, it's a person's yell, but it almost feels primal. And you all see something kind of sail through the night. And you see almost like a little spark attached to it as it sails through, just kind of a glow of light as it comes through. And Jose lands right at your feet. And you see this spark and dynamite as you all come through. You all see it's plopped right by Jose. Josiah, you're kind of a little ways back, definitely outside the blast range. Becca, you're close enough that if you jump back, you'll be clear. Jose, that dynamite's right on you, though. You got to do something quick and clever to get out of this. What do you guys do? We'll say this is a target number or a difficulty tier 5 for your actions.
Oh, it's 15.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to try and grab it quick and pull out the wick. Just rip it out.
Give me a speed check.
All right, I'm gonna spend some speed to lower this check.
All right.
Yeah, luckily I have an edge in that too. So that knocks it down to 4, which I think puts it at 12. Yeah, 12.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, what's everybody else doing before I roll?
Yeah, so he's going to try to pull it back. Becca, you're right in range or close enough to get out of range if you choose. Josiah, you are out of the range. How do you two react as this is going on?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to dash back as quick as I can, maybe try to use some of the nearby trees for some cover from the blast.
No roll necessary. You are easily able to kind of pop yourself outside of that blast range and duck and cover behind a tree. Josiah, what are you thinking?
I think it disconnected.
Oh, did we lose him? Oh, he's there.
Really? I don't see him on my side.
He was gone for a second for me, but he's back now.
Huh.
That was a fun ninja moment.
Yeah, I don't hear him at all if he's talking.
Yeah, I don't know where he cut out. But the TNT fell. Jose speak. He's trying to pull up the wick. Becca took cover behind a tree. You're outside of the blast range. What do you do?
Refresh.
That's the extent of what he does. Just
Macaulay Culkin.
yeah, just yeah. He's a preacher fella. He wasn't expecting this sort of treachery. He wasn't expecting attempted murder.
Perfect. Jose, give me that speed check. You got to be a 12.
Okay, let's do this. Well, so that was in GM intrusion. Do I get an XP?
Oh yeah, you get an XP and give somebody else an XP too.
I'll give it to Josiah because he hasn't got one yet.
All right.
Hey, I get a thing.
Yes. Okay, let's see what happens. 18.
Solid. Yeah, you reach down there lightning fast. You pull that wick out, and you all probably look stare at dub fast as this TNT, this little explosive that was set to go off. He expertly disarms it before that flame could reach the tender. And you all just kind of see, like, probably sit for a moment, see whether the explosion was gonna happen. You all make it through unscathed, and Jose does not get exploded by dynamite.
Where did it come from, the toss?
Oh, yeah, this toss definitely came from the direction of the camp. You heard that yell. It sounded like definitely human, but definitely primal. It wasn't a word or a phrase he yelled out. It was just a howl.
Hang on. Faster, catch. And just toss the TNT over.
Oh,
It's not going to explode.
What?
It's
How do you
mining
know?
dynamite. It's not nitroglycerin. It's a solid explosive. The only way it's going to explode if somebody shoots it or sets it on fire.
And with that, just drops it and like takes a like very generous steps back. Just yeah.
I'll activate my Falcon's Eye cipher by looking through it with my right eye and try to see if I can pinpoint who or what threw the dynamite in the camp.
Yeah, you pull out that cipher, the Falcon's Eye, kind of holding it over your, if it was left or right eye, whatever eye it was. But you are able to see kind of through and to the camp, kind of through this eerie darkness. And you see some of the workers that you saw before. I would say they look furious. Like, they look enraged. Some of them are holding their work pickaxes. Some of them have pistols and shotguns out. You also see people from the town too. And these people, like you see the mayor out there. You see the local store owner. You see the person who owns the land the mine's on. You see a lot of the people who have been speaking out in favor of the rail. They look pissed too. But in the center of it, you see kind of next to these hunks of dynamite, that worker you spoke to. You see they look pissed, but they still look like they have their wits about them. He looks in frenzy. He looks furious. And you see him standing next to that pool of dynamite glaring your way.
With the eyesight of this Falcon's Eye, and maybe I need a roll or something, but do I see any sign of the card that I gave him?
Yeah, fortunately, no roll on this one. You don't see the card, but you've seen how hard it was for Jose to get rid of it and how much Josiah struggled keeping it with him. And you can probably imagine it's somewhere on his person.
Gotcha. So are all of the people that I see kind of like facing in our direction and seem angry at us, or is there some other source of their anger?
They do seem angry at you guys. Like,
Well.
you see that person you gave that card to, and even it takes your eagle's eye to stare at him, but him with his almost inhuman fury is just staring right at you guys.
Yeah, we're certainly outnumbered over there, but now that we have some explosives, maybe we can circle around a bit, stay away from their work camp, and blow up a different part of the railway. That might make
not
things a bit
inclined to-
more difficult for them.
I mean, that would probably be best. Plus, I'm not inclined to shoot a bunch of people whose only mistake was being an idiot.
I still don't understand what would possess these people. Oh,
Same thing
wait,
that possesses that card, probably.
Maybe.
He seems
Well,
so pleasant.
greed and desperation do a number to anybody there.
I'm never trusting another man in a pinstripe suit ever again in my life.
Words to live by.
Yeah. You
Better than
see a
any,
pinstripe?
It's a better truth than any sermon I've heard from you, that's for sure.
But that's a little bit hurtful, but right now I do feel a tad foolish, so you might be right. Well, I'm not inclined to see you lovely people use your bullets to make a lot of other normally lovely people exit this world. So I love the idea of trying to sneak around them, if we can even do that. It looks like they're locked eyes with us.
It's out of the woods.
Well, I'll do my best to be quiet, I guess.
All right, you all try to stealth through.
Yeah, and I'll try to use my knowledge of the area to find a good way around.
Yeah, try to stealth through.
Perfect. Everybody give me actually. So, your choice. We can have everybody give me a DC 12 speed check, or we're going to be a group success or failure based on how many of you. If two of you succeed, you succeed. If two of you fail, you fail. Or we could have Becca do a 9 check, a DC 9 check based off of her own experience. The forest trying to lead you all through a stealthy path, but it would just be Becca.
Probably Becca.
How do you like that pressure?
I'm happy to take the lead, if you trust me to do so.
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that could happen besides, everything?
Yeah, so if I'm trained in multiple things, I still only get 1 ease. Is that right?
Yeah, to my best of my knowledge, you only get 1 of your skills. But if you have any assets or ciphers that can be applied, you can get those. And assets are just items. Yeah.
I do have a compass, which might help here, if you think that would be enough to ease the roll. But either way, I'm going to apply some effort to it.
I do have...
Oh, go ahead.
I've got this thing where I'm helpful. And whenever I help another character, that character gains the benefit as if I was trained, even if I'm not trained or specialized in the attempted task. So I'm gracious like that. What can I tell you? So how would that work in this context?
Yeah, so and I'll let you decide how you are providing this help, but that would definitely ease it. So the compass wouldn't help on that side, but you could definitely spend some effort to help ease it again and bring that 9 down to a 3.
Okay.
And I'll let Josiah decide how he is helping Becca sneak through these, or help sneak through these woods.
Trust in God. God will show you the way. And also avoid any tiny branches.
While this is going on, I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Our recovery, I should say.
Oh, recovery. All right, yeah. So you could do a recovery roll. That's 1d6, I think, plus your tier. And this one only takes, I think it's instant for the first one you've done.
Yeah.
I'm also a very generous, gracious person,
7.
and allies that have spent the last day with me add +1 to their recovery rolls.
Ooh,
Nice.
I get 8.
Yeah.
You can divide
Who
those
would've-
up from any of your points that are missing on that side.
Who would have thought having a preacher around's a good thing?
That actually puts me back up to max.
Wild.
Thank you.
Hey, happy to do what I can.
I'll do a recovery roll after this roll, so I get back potentially the effort that I spent, or the points I spent on the effort.
Fair enough.
Yep, that's a natural 1. Pressure was too much.
You remember that XP?
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
a
yeah.
little
I
bit
have
ago.
that.
I don't know. We could go with the nat 1, see what happens.
Well, we've got like the entire town of coyotes run, staring in our general direction with murder in their eyes.
Oh, here we.
I mean, I don't want to wrap it up that early.
The
Yeah,
So-
I'll cash it in. I'll ka-ching it.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
give-
have an XP,
I'll-
but if you want to use one for it.
I mean, I don't got my stuff's not that cool. I don't have anything that's really crazy with XP points, so I'm good. I'll use it. Cha-ching. Let's go. Back
All
to
right, I'll
nothing.
reroll.
Hell yeah.
13.
There we
That's a
go.
lot better than 1.
So, Becca, you've walked these woods for a while, but unfortunately, just kind of been a little unnerved with that guy that you gave the card to stare back at you. You almost walk into a twig or a branch. But then Josiah stops his sermon to tell you not to walk into the branches, like you mentioned earlier, stopping you all from easily being spotted. And you all are able to kind of loop around where those people, the people coyotes running were just glaring at you. You're able to loop around to a different section of the railway. Back with your eye, you don't see anybody around this section so far. It looks to be a little deserted. With that, you guys have a little piece of dynamite. What are you all doing?
Well, first I'll use an action to do that recovery roll. But here's kind of what I'm thinking. We set some dynamite here, set it off. That'll get their attention. Hopefully, most of them will run this way while we're sneaking back around. And with any luck, the main work camp will be a little bit less attended, and there we can look for some more opportunities for sabotage.
They do have a whole bunch of dynamite themselves.
Well,
It'd be hard to work with a few of their forges kind of going to smithereens.
but you did pull out the fuse. So how are we going to light this thing?
Becca's a pretty good shot, I imagine.
And that'll give us. I can give a shot from a good distance away. Rifles go up to 300 feet, and that'll give us a good head start on getting away from the explosion. When the rest of them start coming to look for what happened here.
Yeah, the explosion should also mask the gunshot itself. Yeah, so I can just like go over the railroad, like get some dirt or like gravel or whatever, just kind of put it up so it's sticking up. Which should give Becca an actual shot.
All right. So yeah, so we're starting this one off at a difficulty 5. With kind of setting it up on that side, we ease it down to a 4.
Would my perception training help me line up a clear shot to hit this small object from the maximum distance of my rifle?
I'd say so.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll put some effort into this shot and go ahead and
Before we
make
make the shot, though, real quick, I'm gonna make a GM intrusion here. Josiah, get an XP, hand one out to somebody else, and make me a target number 6 intellect roll. So 18.
All right, Jose, you can have that +1.
Thank you.
So, yep. Let's see where that. Yabba dabba do. That's 8.
Alright. So yeah, you see Jose kind of building up this dynamite and placing it in there, making it for the perfect shot. You see Becca raise that rifle, and you kind of like feel two things. You see that face of that parishioner that came to your church. You see him healthy, and you see kind of the shot go off, and you see him kind of flip into this unhealthy version of himself. And you kind of feel like what they're doing is what caused this. They're standing in the way of progress. They're standing in the way of your parishioners having paradise on earth. They're the Becca and Jose are the impediments to that. And you're kind of pushed to do something to stop them. Josiah, what do you do?
Can I argue that Josiah tries to center himself with prayer because he knows that this malignant extension of Barry has become glued to his person and he has no agency now?
Did you have any XP?
Yeah, thanks to the one you just gave me for intruding.
Unfortunately, you can't use that XP. But if you had, because what I should have mentioned this earlier. So if you have XP, you can reject an intrusion. But without an XP, you have to go with it.
I've goofed. Okay. Well. Wah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if that's okay, so he feels like this is a detriment to the people of Coyote, he's going to yell at them to stop. And that we should stop. We should really consider what we're trying to do here. I mean, maybe Barry is not a kind person, but the railroad does have its benefits. It's brought people jobs. It's brought people careers. We should think about what we're doing here.
I fire the shot.
Yeah, I get the hell out of the way.
So as Josiah yells out before the shot, kind of preaching against taking out the railway, Becca, give me the roll. But the voice echoes out before the shot. Give it a little bit of time for something else.
Okay, I don't remember what you said the difficulty was. I did spend effort. I don't remember if there was anything else easing it from the asset, I think, from you setting up well. But
Yeah, so he brought it down from a 5 to a 4. You used the efforts, that brings it down to a 9.
all right. I'm gonna spend my XP to reroll that. And it's even worse.
Hey.
So that's a 3.
What's that?
3 total.
Oh, 3 total. Okay, all right. Yeah, so the shot goes off. Josiah preaching at you that this is wrong, throws your aim off just enough, and you see the bullet kind of just hit right in the rail next to it, echoing out, making kind of a loud, just, I don't know what a bullet sounds like in metal, a loud screech noise.
It's like a heavy ting.
You hear that ting echo out, and Josiah's voice is already alerting it. You guys hear the pounding of feet running towards you. You look over Becca with that enhanced eye, and you see the townspeople running at you, pickaxes out, guns drawn, and they are running out with fury in their eyes. We're going to get into a combat. So you guys see, it doesn't seem like the full strength of the townspeople, but you do see Becca, the one that you gave that card to. You see the guy that was standing behind Barry, that hollow man, this big buff dude running along with them, soulless eyes looking back at you guys. And then there are 2 other townspeople with kind of pickaxes in their hands. So with that, let me see what the hollow man's target number is, because they'll go on his turn. Oh, this one's hard. All right, speed check, 15 or better.
My training eases that down to a 12, but I rolled an 11.
13.
Got a big fat 6, baby. Hell yeah.
You see these creatures just run towards you. Who are they going to pick on? So the Hollow Man spends his whole turn kind of running towards you all. He has to kind of move away from a small distance away into fighting range. So he uses action to get closer. If you guys see, like he looked freaky. I mean, he looked unnerving before. But as you see, at first you wonder if it's dark playing tricks on you. But you see his muscles bulge out, those dead eyes grow darker and deader. You see kind of these runic lines come across his face, and you see just pure rage burst through as this Hollow Man takes different form. And you see almost kind of weird, like little tracks start to run up his arm and round like his chest and down his other arm, almost like little railroad tracks kind of bulge out as he gets larger, stronger, and more ferocious. As he kind of gets in range, and kind of in close distance to you guys. The one, Becca, that you gave that card to, he's going to pull up his rifle and he's going to take a shot at you. So with this, game masters don't roll dice, so you're gonna make a defense roll. He is just a townsperson that's been a little enhanced with some railroad magic. So his difficulty is 3, so his target number is 9. So you'll make a defense roll. With being shot, that'd be speed, so you have to beat a 9 on the defense roll.
I am trained in speed defense. So
oh, perfect. Yeah, so bring that down to a 6.
14.
Solid. You see him take aim and pull that trigger. You're able to dodge aside as the bullet comes at you. The other two with the pickaxes kind of do the same thing. They spend their action to get in range with you. And now kind of up in your grill, you see these two crazed townsmen with pickaxes in their hands. And when I say crazed, they look furious. They don't look as inhumanly crazed as the one with the rifle and the card. They look angry, and you see some of them muttering, "We're just trying to do what's best for the town. Can't you see that, Pastor?" And they kind of swinging those, kind of gripping those pickaxes. But it is now your guys' turn. You have 4 foes. One, the big Hollow Man in the center, flanked by his 2 miners. And you see the crazed man in the back with the rifle taking aim at Becca, who gave him that card. How do you guys act? And you guys can go in any order you all want to for player turn.
Where are they in relation to where that dynamite is?
Because they're where you guys were, so fortunately they are away from the dynamite.
So would seeing these townsfolk and their vigorous, violent reaction to everything shake Josiah back to being sensible?
Actually, you broke free pretty much after that shot went off. That card is still stuck to you, but you're aware that it tried to manipulate you, and you feel like you got a little edge against it right now. If it tries it again, you definitely feel like control of yourself at the moment.
All right, I'm gonna do a thing. Encouragement. While I maintain this ability through ongoing inspiring oration, my allies within short range, they're within short range?
Yeah.
Okay. Ease one of the following task types, my choice. But you guys tell me what you want. It's team effort and everything. Defense tasks, attack tasks, or tasks related to any skill that I'm trained or specialized. Yeah, you don't want to talk to these guys. So attack or defense?
I'd say probably defense.
Yeah, they outnumber us. They're going to be getting some attacks in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, well, he's going to encourage them to take heed. They're only hands and legs, and your eyes are faster than any of those. You can see what's coming, and take care and be safe. I believe in you. God is with you. God is with us.
Nice.
And that would be 3 intellect points to do that. Wait, but I've got the edge, so that would be 2.
Did your ability cost 3 to use?
It's the ability costs 1 intellect point.
Do you have to roll to use it?
Don't think so. Just as 1 intellect point. Will I maintain this ability through ongoing inspiring oration? Allies within short range uses one of the following types. Blah blah blah. So no, there's no mention of a roll. It's just an action at the end.
Yeah. So you just use. Were you using effort for something else?
No, I'm not using the effort. Just I have the edge. The edge is constantly 1, right? That doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
If it was 1 point to use, it's 0 points at all overall. So you don't have to spend anything.
Oh, well then I still
If
have.
it's 1 intellect point to use, and you've got 1 intellect edge, you're good to go. That's great.
Then they'll have all my intellect points, I think.
Nice.
Okay, then yeah. Well, let's just there you go. Be defense. There you go. All right. And that'll do it for my action.
All right. Jose Becca.
Tell me if this makes sense with the positioning, but I'd like to use my turn to move to position the dynamite between myself and all of the potential enemies.
Yeah, you could definitely kind of move and get, because it's 300 feet away. You guys said, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's pretty.
No, but you can. It's a speed check of what was it? I think 4 difficulty. Because you can use because usually you can only move small distance in 1 turn. But if you want to go further, you can make a speed check to see if you could make up the distance on that side. So yeah, difficulty 4. So it'd be a difficulty 12 speed or target number 12 speed check.
Okay. See. Yeah, I'll go ahead and make that roll. 18.
Solid. Yeah, you hoof it over there. You're able to kind of get go at an angle, so you're able to angle yourself away and get close enough to the dynamite to put it between you and some of the miners in the Hollow Man.
And I'll just shout out to them. Attack any of my friends, and this railway's going sky high.
All right.
Ooh.
Jose, what are you doing?
So the bulk of these people are just kind of running at us like they're following the tracks, right?
Not follow the tracks because you guys are a little away from the tracks. So they're kind of coming.
Right.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're all kind of moving like in one kind of group.
Yeah, they are kind of clumped up, but they are close to you guys now. They're.
Okay. Well, as long as I'm not melee, I can pull this off. I'm going to pull into my ribbons of darkness. So for the next minute, darkness condenses within an area within long range, no bigger than an immediate distance in diameter, manifesting as swirling ribbons. All tasks attempted by creatures in the area are hindered, and leaving the area requires the creature's entire action to move.
So they're close immediate range for you guys.
Okay, so there's no point in that then. Let's see. And Becca can't take any more turns. Take any more actions this turn.
No.
Okay, well, if they're within fighting distance, they're gonna try and swing at me. But I'm gonna go for how many of Hollow Men are there? Just the one?
Just the one Hollow Man, yeah.
Yeah. All right. It does not if I initiate violence, they're gonna come after me.
So I started blasting.
I might have to. I don't have many other options other than that, and detecting lies. I don't have my shotgun with me.
There's a certain honesty in their movements, so no need to detect lies there. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I might hold off on my action, just kind of pull my pistol out, but not do anything yet until they start actually trying to kill me.
Can I? How is activating a cipher an action?
It is.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, are you talking about because yours was a necklace, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I said the lady put it on your neck already, so you're good.
Oh.
Because yours
Oh,
lasts
cool.
for a day, it looks like. So.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's a
So,
one shot.
hooray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in that case, ooh, I'm gonna hurt their fists with my bony body. Show them who's boss.
Yeah, no. Until they actually start trying to kill me, I think I'm just gonna pull my pistol out and just get ready for the mob.
Oh, make me an intellect check.
Sure.
Oh,
9.
target number 2, so 6.
Oh, okay, fine. 9. Got it with a 9.
Nice. You take a look at these people and kind of take a look at kind of their demeanor, and you see these two with Becca's threat. The two kind of townspeople with pickaxes in their hands. They seem a little bit shaken and unsure of what to do. But the Hollow Man and the one Becca gave that card to, there's murder in their eyes.
Yeah, fuck it, kneecaps. I'm gonna start with the guy who has the card.
All right.
Yeah.
You had the bad luck of being engaged in conversation with Becca.
I'm going for the knees. I'm not gonna kill him.
So with this, so to target a specific body part, you need to at least get a 19 or 20 on your die. Because a minor effect, one of the things you can do with minor effect is target a specific body part.
Oh.
But you can definitely shoot at him. But
I mean, it's a
his target
gunshot
number
wound.
off base is 9 to hit.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'll try for 1920.
All right.
Who knows? That's a 7, so we all know. I think it just goes wide.
His shot goes off, goes wide. You see kind of the two miners, the ones with pickaxes by, flinch. But the Hollow Man and the Crazed Man just kind of stare at you, fury in their eyes. And we're going to go up to round 2.
I'm just gonna say, I got 6 more bullets in this if anybody wants to come up.
So round 2, Becca. No, you're not in the same initiative order on this side, but we'll see if you want to kind of use your action on this. Would you want to try to use your action, see if you can scare off those two townspeople? Or would you have something else you want to do this turn?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hurt these people if I don't have to, and my goal is to kind of get them to not hurt us as well. So
Becca, I'll say, how do you try to scare off these men? How do you try to get them to leave and not interfere with your work? I'll kind of let it up to you. We'll see what type of check that comes with.
I'll just shout out, y'all seen the game I bring back every week? You know how straight my shot is, and I'd hate to have to turn it on you.
Perfect. Give me an intellect roll. These guys, it is target number 6.
Right, I'm gonna use that.
Difficult. Yeah, target number 6. Yeah.
Effort into that. 8.
We can put an effort in. That'll bring it down to 3.
Okay. So yeah, 8 on the roll.
You call out to them, to reminding them about the game you pulled back and the crazy shots you've gotten off. And you see kind of two with the pickaxes kind of like shake their heads, and you see kind of the fury just drain from their face. And you kind of see fear as they remember some of those impossible shots you've come through with some of the deer and game you brought back. And you see them just take off and run, just leaving the fray. But you see that Hollow Man and the one you gave that card to still furious. And the one that you gave the card to is going to take a shot at you, Becca. And the other one, Hollow Man, is going to try to throw a just wicked looking hook at you, Josiah. So both of you have to make defense rolls. Becca, you've got a little bit easier. Yours is a 9. Josiah, yours is a 15.
All right, that's cool. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I rolled a 10.
I rolled a 17, baby. Hey.
Right? You guys, like, the power of the green is behind you all. Becca, you see he takes aim at you, and look, it looks like it's real close. And you feel the bullet whiz past might blows your hair a little bit as it goes by. But you emerge unscathed. And Josiah, you see this unholy creature taking a big swing at you. It probably just your belief in the church. God's own fortune allows you to duck just at the right moment as this big meaty fist comes over you, and you can emerge unscathed. And now it's your guys' turn.
Should I use my action already for that previous roll? Is how we're playing
So
it? or-
you did use your action to get rid of those two minors.
Oh,
So Jose and Josiah,
I'm gonna shoot the hollow guy.
shoot him up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we only have like what, 2 foes left on the board.
Yeah, just two.
Okay. So no sense using that.
Before we do that, do you want me to put forth? Do away with defense. No, we are here for violence.
Yeah.
Righteous violence.
Bring the wrath of the. Yeah, bring the Old Testament out.
There you go. Where you at? Where you at, Yahweh? All right.
That's all that New Testament, Old Testament vengeance coming out.
Yeah. We're not here to forgive. We're here to.
We're an eye
Play
for an eye
waste.
right now. We're not.
Oh yeah.
Some of that fire and brimstone.
God can
They're
forgive them, we won't.
Their numbers are halved. Their chances are halved. Look at this giant oaf of a man. He's a walking target for your pistols and guns. Bring God's wrath on these instruments of bury the devil railroad man.
Hallelujah. Bam.
And that brings
All
it
right.
down from a 15 to a 12. So he's got to be a 12 unless you have anything else to ease that down.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 3, actually 2 edge points in order to bring that down a bit.
Ooh.
Not edge points, speed points. Yeah. $16 or $15. Didn't have to at all.
That will hit. How much damage do you do?
I do 5 damage with my
He
pistol.
looks hurt. How does that look?
I think what I'm basically doing is I'm trying to go for like joints, or maybe I'm just like I keep trying to plug into like this massive chest. Bam, blam, blam. Where is that freaking heart?
You see those bullets like blow through him. You see holes in his flesh, but he is still coming. Hold on, I will be right back, and we'll get into the last part.
Wait, did he leave us live? Oh,
think-
Tegan.
Yeah, we're on air. So
So, you guys remember that giveaway code? Because I don't. Remember, you can
Old
win
Gods.
Old Gods. Is it ! Old Gods in chat? Is that how it works?
probably yes. Let's go with that.
Probably. Yeah, I think
And-
so.
You can
Roll
blame
our
us,
tea
Chad,
up.
if otherwise.
Yeah, but yeah, you can win a hardcover copy of the book as well as a PDF. One caveat: you've got to be in the great old U.S. of A. I
Mhm.
imagine that's continental. I don't know if you're shipping the Hawaii and Alaska. Maybe we'll clarify that when he comes back. Who knows?
Hmm.
I should have asked that question. I did not ask that question. So if you're in Alaska and
Well-
Hawaii, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it feels like it'd be easier to ship to Canada, but what do I know? I don't run a shipping business. Is it ! Old Gods to enter? Is that how you do it?
We have old gods to enter, and let me check how many we got. I think we got a lot, actually.
Just
this is
figured I'd
actually,
throw
I
that
think,
in there.
Most that we've had for one of the giveaways. We've got 14 people. in
Yeah.
there. So
It's
solid.
Nice.
I'm telling you, that's a handsome hardcover book, man. I can just see a glimpse of it in the corner of your window. I'm like, what am I doing playing this damn thing? I want to enter. I messed up.
This is a nice one.
Yeah.
I love the cover design. It's got some cool art
Yeah.
inside of it too. It's right here for now. So definitely worth checking out. And it's a pretty easy system to get used to once you get into it. My only complaint, which is nice because I like the GM intrusions, is I like rolling dice too. But GM intrusions are a lot of fun to be able to call out when you want to do something.
I feel with that on the dice thing.
I mean, you're the one running the game. It's like, you know what, player? I'm rolling the dice. Get wrecked. Whatever, right?
That's the fun thing with GM intrusions. Is I don't have to rely on a dice roll to get it done. I'm like, no, you just get dragged and pulled down. What do you do now? What do you do? But so Jose, you shot the Hollow Man. You see holes appearing in his flesh. He is hurt. Josiah used his speech to pump you up and bring out that Old Testament fury. Becca called upon her past hunts to make those townspeople who were just a little bit entranced break the spell and run away. And we're getting into our third round of this combat. Unfortunately, they're still ahead of you guys in the actions. So Becca, that guy is still trying to get you. He's still trying to take that shot. You see him raise that rifle up again and pull out. I gotta pull the trigger. The shot goes your way. Give us a speed defense check. And unfortunately, Josiah went Old Testament, so you don't have that defense.
You could literally just call it Old Testament, New Testament for like attack and defense.
I love it. I rolled a 7. I have speed defense training. I don't remember what the difficulty was.
Nice. So yeah, you succeed. You see another bullet just whiz right past you, kind of almost like you can feel it on your skin, but you don't get hurt. Like this guy is like probably like a decent shot, but just not good enough. As you feel those bullets whizzing past you, you see Jose. He turns from Josiah as you pump lead into him. He is going to try to make a punch at you. This is a 15 speed check as he tries to clobber you with his massive fist.
Luckily, I am trained at speed defense.
Nice.
I'm glad you guys are, because
Alrighty, so let's see what happens. I think that knocks it down to a 12.
That knocks it down to 12, yeah.
Cool. 18.
Nice. Yeah, you see his fist kind of coming towards you. You duck and dodge. You guys both emerge unscathed from this. All right. Player's turn. You guys have the two enemies facing you. What do you guys do?
Anyone
Wait.
near the dynamite, or I guess not really moved in that direction?
You know, I could maybe shove the Hollow Man near the dynamite.
That would be sweet.
That's a very hard shove.
Yeah, I see. You guys are quite a bit away from the dynamite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Becca went to like a 300 feet sprint.
Right.
Yeah,
I keep thinking we're like at the tracks.
And it's like, all right, why didn't you guys chase me?
I mean, I'll shout out, like, try to lead them closer if you can.
I will continue my let's get him for God speech.
The Hollow Man will say he does look hurt. He does.
You know what? I'm going to spend an XP.
Okay.
Ooh.
My 1 out of my 2. And I'm going to activate one of my protector player intrusions.
All right.
I'm going to use perfect setup. You're fighting at least 3 foes, and each one is standing in exactly the right spot for you to use a move you trained in long ago, allowing you to attack all 3 in a single action. Make a separate attack roll for each foe. You remain limited by the amount of effort you can apply on one action. So I'm just going to shoot both of these guys.
Does it have to do 3, or how's their phrase?
Oh, it says up to 3.
Up to 3?
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, or no, at least 3.
So, unfortunately, that would have to be 3, unless you're shooting at something else you could shoot at.
No, at least says, like, you know.
The dynamite, of course.
Yeah.
So cute.
You could shoot
Yeah,
at dynamite. You could shoot.
You know what? I'll do it. My pistol's at long range.
Becca's in the direction of the dynamite, but not next to the dynamite, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone near it.
Yeah, my pistol's a long range pistol. Let's do this.
Just making that distinction. Just
all right, first one's going
towards page.
This one's going towards the Hollow Man.
So Hollow Man, he is target number 15. Or DC,
I-
target number 15. Yeah.
But reduced because somebody went Old Testament.
Oh, yeah. So down to 12.
Yahweh, Yahweh.
Wait, so what is it when you're being perky? Episcopalian?
Oh man.
That's a 9. That's a miss.
So
Or
fortunately,
maybe I hit him, but it doesn't do anything.
because see, like it lodges, it goes through one of the holes you already put in them, and it goes out the other way.
Let's go for the other guy, with the card-carrying member.
Usually it'd be a difficulty 3, so target number 9, but that Old Testament brings it down to a 6 and 2.
That's an 8.
Yeah.
How much damage? Oh, you did 5 damage?
5 damage.
Damn it, put him down. Yeah, take him down.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, blam, blam, son of a, move it over. And I think I just, like it's a gun. I have to be lethal with it, right?
Yeah, unless you got like the 18 where you can kind of call your shot, or 19
Yeah.
where you can call your shot. So, fortunately, he bites it.
Yeah. And finally, the dynamite.
That one was because you guys perked it up, so that brought it down from a 5 to a 4. Old Testament brings it down to a 3, so 9 on that one.
And let's do this. You know, I really want to hit the dynamite. I'm going to spend 2 speed points.
Nice. 3 speed points.
Yes, but I have an edge.
Did you already apply your edge this turn?
No.
Nope. All right, you're good to go.
Yeah, I haven't spent any points or edge. 6. So it's a good thing I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, blam, 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 blam. One bullet's kind of like, really aiming it. Blam! And just kind of like in slow-mo as the round just goes and,
Just a hardcore squint.
yeah.
That part doesn't look like dirt. Bam.
And they're just like in distance.
You guys see the dynamite explode, taking out chunks of the railroad. Becca, you're out of the distance, but you do get pelted with some rocks and debris. No damage, though. And you do see the one that you gave the card to that had been shooting at you fall, the bullet through his heart, collapsing on the ground. All that's left between you guys and kind of the rest of the railway's destruction is one hollow man. His turn is so the round is up. His turn is now. And he is going to try to.
Actually, I don't think I took an action.
Yeah.
Oh, you not go. Oh, you're up then. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a shot at him.
Shot.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll put some effort into it. Ooh, that is a 6 with effort, so I think that misses.
Unfortunately, you still need a well, with effort, you would need a 9.
Wait,
the
does
XP
he
you want to
does he get that
Uh,
benefit from
Old Testament?
from Wrath of God?
It
Wrath
does.
of God.
Unfortunately, he has a difficulty of 5.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
That boy's mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy.
So, yeah, you see him kind of blood, this black inky blood pooling out of him as he goes through. Jose, he's gonna keep picking on you because you keep shooting at him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Josiah is preaching, so he is going to try to slam that meaty fist at you one more time. You see fury in his eyes as you guys destroyed part of the railroad and killed his man. And he is going to try to just crush you with his fist.
Okay, I do have speed defense.
All right.
8.
He smacks into you hard. He has 9 points of might damage to you.
Oh, well, that's fine. I have 1 might left. I just kind of get knocked to the ground. I just start cussing him out in Spanish. And I just get back up and I go, best you got?
Perfect. Is your guys' turn? Can you finish this hollow man?
I'll take a shot again to see if I can finish him off.
I'm just gonna assume. Yep. All right. Wrath of God. You show them. You show that abomination who's boss in the name of Yahweh.
I'll put some effort into it again.
All right.
And the plagues of Egypt came down upon Egypt.
That's a 17, which I believe
Solid.
gives me plus
So
1
that's a
damage.
+1 to the damage.
That's
Two.
a
How much
total
damage
of
is that?
8 damage.
Put him down.
Yeah, I'll blow a hole through his hollow chest, and kind of knock him back, and maybe he like trips on a root and collapses.
You see him blast through his hole through his chest. You see that black inky blood pooling out. His body remains erect for just a moment before you see it fall backwards, falling over that root and just rolling down from behind the hill behind the railway. You guys lose track of the body as it rolls. You guys see flames and kind of still kicked up pieces of railway from where you hit that dynamite and exploded it. And you guys know, I mean, you took out the Hollow Man. You know there's a big pool of dynamite back at the camp. What do you guys do?
Before we do anything else, and I love having an intellect edge. This is so good. All this stuff is like free. I've got this thing for cures what ails you, called Perfect Remedy. It's with the right herbs, words, or ritual. I can restore 1d6 points to one stat pool of any creature within immediate range. That would be our recently injured friend, Mr. Campos. And it can be used once per character until the character uses their 10-hour rest. Yeah, so I'm going to just get that out the way. That's not how you do that. All right. Enjoy that 4 back to your might.
Very much so. Puts me up at 5.
Yeah, better than 1.
Oh, yeah.
Is that into any pool? Or,
yeah, it's any pool.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah, I've been using a lot of
helping hand.
Been using a lot of effort. So while you're at it, pass.
For which one? For
speed is down by 6.
Okay, then for your speed, putting that good book to good use. Not as good as it should have been, but you know, well, you got 1 back. Yay!
I'll take it.
Thanks, Doc.
No, not a doctor. I'm just doing God's will.
Whatever.
So as you guys feel the good words flowing through you and feel a little renewed vigor, what's next?
One thing I might recommend is I can maybe try to find us a safe spot out in the woods where they won't find us, and we can take a 10-minute rest. If you're up for that. Sounds like.
I mean, we need to keep the momentum.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I guess in that case, I'll look for another path back to the main camp, but again, trying to stay out of sight using the trees as cover and my knowledge of the land.
Sure.
And I'll offer what assistance I can.
So same deal as last time. You guys can make a group target 4 check or difficulty 4 target number 12 check, or Becca can take it on her own and make it 9. And then has Josiah offer it. I forget what the skill name was. There's assistance that could bring
Helpful.
down.
It's helpful.
I mean, that's still our best bet. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a nice guy. I like to help.
Yes, I'll go ahead and roll. 11.
Solid. You're able to kind of sneakily lead through, kind of using the the darkness itself and kind of some of the own camp's implements to kind of hide your guys' approach. And you guys get kind of just this beauty of a picture. And probably with Becca, with your little enhanced eye, you can see this all laid out. You see Barry kind of standing on the tracks, fury in his eyes, and you see him yelling at some of this assembled crowd. You see some of the railway workers, some of the people he brought into town with him. Some of them in nice suits, some of them in kind of the grime and work clothes that would be associated with building the railways. But all of these are kind of the outsiders he brought along with him. And you see him yelling and kind of working these people up into a frenzy. But you do see him standing next to the dynamite cart. You see he's like handing out dynamite to the people to kind of go and chase you all down. But what do you all do?
I'll
could
just say
sneak attack.
I'll say to the two of them, like, my finger's on this trigger, but
Let me go
you have a
up.
better idea.
And well, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, I will encourage you to lay waste to our enemies.
Well, let me talk to them first.
All right, well, I'll be here in the shadows. As soon as you give the word, I'm firing a shot.
Oh, trust me, you'll know when to fire.
All right, so Jose, what do you do?
I'm gonna walk out of the. Put my hat back on, and I'm gonna walk out of the forest. Also, like, I'll put my pistol away, so it doesn't seem like I'm carrying a weapon.
You see as you kind of walk out of the forest towards the group, the railroad man turns, fury on his face. You see, like, before it kind of flickered with the image of your comrade that you lost on the rails with kind of that explosion, but now you see, like, it's almost permanent on there. Very rarely flicks back to what you'd see with the man in the pinstripe suit. You kind of see just this image of your friend kind of burning from the train, almost just engraved upon this pinstripe suit man's face. He looks at you. Still has that, like, aristocratic demeanor, but fury just laces his words. And he goes, I shook your hand in friendship, and you come and do this to my railway, and you still have your nerve to show your face? What do you have to say for yourself before you meet your maker?
I would say that a deal made with a villain isn't worth keeping, Barry.
I'm no villain. I trade opportunity. I trade opportunity and fortune for those.
You traded lies and greed, my man. I've seen what you've done for the people of this town, and I've only been here for a couple of weeks. I can't imagine what waste you've laid across the whatever the hell this place is. I don't care. I do care about what you've done to the people, though. Especially these people here. You probably haven't suffered any much more crime than trying to feed their families with a steady paycheck. Now, rest of you probably heard that explosion back there. That might have been some of our handiwork. And that was just done by tonight. What do you think that we can accomplish if we just had, I don't know, a little bit more time? But I'm telling the rest of you people who aren't Barry up there that if you want to get out of here alive, you best start moving. Now.
Did you see kind of the people looking back at you, some of them in the suits, some of them in kind of the barrel and lock railway gear? Do you see Barry kind of look between them and you and goes, my friend, these are my people. Your people have already fled.
Oh, no. Barry, my friend. Barry, Boobala. I'm never alone with God by my side. And he just snaps his fingers.
I'll fire a shot at the dynamite.
Yeah.
And I will put effort into that.
All right. So this is a pretty big cart, so this is just a difficulty 2. Jose, give me a difficulty 4 speed check.
Yeah, I'm gonna duck. I'm gonna spend 2 more speed with my, 3 more speed, but 2 with my edge.
Yep.
To knock that down to 3.
And you have Josiah's Old Testament for you, Becca. So that's just you gotta roll 3 or better to be on that.
Oh, that was a 3. I'm gonna reroll.
Oh yeah, burn your last XP. That's a good time to use it. Yeah.
That was another 3.
Okay. We'll get to that in a second. Becca, were you able to hit?
Yes, I actually rolled a 19, which I believe gives me a minor effect.
It gives you a minor effect.
So I would like that minor effect to be that I shoot it in such a way where the blast doesn't quite get to Jose. If that's enough.
What we'll do on that side, Jose, give me one more roll. Your target number is going to be a little higher, but you get another chance to see if you can get out of this explosion.
So I had to refresh. I only caught the end of that.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so Becca got a 19 on the roll, granting a minor effect. So she's trying to shoot the blast, shoot the dynamite in a way that's angled to not get you in it. And the way we're going to roll with that, with it being a minor effect, is you'll get a chance to re-roll. It's going to have a little higher target number. We get another shot to get it in.
Wrong page. Let's try over here.
Okay, so I re-roll again. 17.
Solid. Yeah, you first, Jose, you kind of like almost look like you're like trip as you try to maneuver away from this blast. As you see Becca kind of pop up, squeeze the trigger, this bullet flying true into the carton explosion blossom with Jose kind of preaches some Old Testament revenge, eye for an eye stuff, and kind of as the shot goes out. But luckily, you see Becca angled it just right. It's giving you just that extra second you needed to be able to haul ass out of there before the explosion kind of blows and engulfs you within it. But you guys see this thing light up the night, light up the darkness that had just pretty much overtaken this town. And you see this inferno roil out. And as you guys see the dust and smoke fire clear, you all see a giant chunk of this railway taken out. You guys don't see Barry anymore. But what you do see, kind of where Barry was standing, you see a pinstripe suit and a little black car. And you guys have successfully taken out Barry, the railroad man, defended the green, and were able to help free Coyote Run from this malevolent presence. And that's where we'll wrap up our adventure.
Nice.
So you all made it through. We're getting close to rolling for who will get to take away the giveaway. We've got 15 people in. Next few minutes, get yourselves in there. And then once we do roll it, I'm going to put in both my email address and Discord ID. Message me on one of those two, and I'll get some of your information on that side, so I can get that over to Shauna. I didn't ask her about time frame either, so when I reach out to her with your information, I'll ask about time frame and let you know when you'll get it. I didn't ask any questions. I said thank you.
Free book. Okay, thanks.
So we will figure that out. But yeah, we'll be rolling this in a second. This is my first time with the Cypher system. I enjoyed it. I like the GM intrusion. That's a fun thing to have. We just kind of pull out and say this happens. You get to have. I like how you give XP to the player they can use for stuff, and like they get to give it to another player too. Kind of spreads out the wealth.
I love that it's like you guys sound a little too cocky. Let's fix that. Things are going really well. Oh, you had to rub my nose in it, huh? No. I love it. No, this is a fun system, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and like that podcast is one that's been on my back burner for a while. I'm like, I'll get to it eventually. I'm like, it's Appalachia, weird crap in the woods. Hell yeah, I'm into it.
It's really good. Like anytime we go on a long drive, my wife and I listen to it. My only complaint with the podcast to be, especially with how long between the seasons, they don't do a recap. We started like season 4 because like the new season just came out a couple weeks ago. I listened to a couple before like the game just to kind of get myself in the mindset of it. I'm like, what the hell happened? This is like 6 months ago. But really good. I bet there's like online. My wife and I were talking about finding an online resource for a recap, just to make sure we remember what happened last season. But
man,
very good.
Like one of the drawbacks of remote work is I don't have as much of a commute anymore. Yeah. I don't get to enjoy audio like this. I gotta find reasons to drive now.
I just look at it when I'm doing yard work.
That's a good way to do it too.
I have a very small yard.
Ah.
It's weeds that I park on. That's my yard. Oh man.
I really enjoyed the system. I also started listening to the
yeah.
podcast 2 weeks ago. You know, in kind of preparation for this. Got through a few episodes, but the way they just the language they use to narrate everything, and the way like magic works and how mysterious it is, made me really excited. And I think this was a lot of fun to actually play in that world a little bit and interact with those things. And I also really like the Cypher system. I ran a Numenera one shot, which uses the same
Okay.
system 2 years ago or something like that. So I was like mostly familiar with it. But I think my favorite part is the little sentences you make out of your character. Because just being able to say that Becca is a brash hunter who shoots sharp and straight. And you don't really need to know much more about her character than that. And it made it gave me like, it helped with the role play a lot, and just made like character creation a breeze. So that was really nice for the player side.
It does help you sum up your character in a sentence.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, just well, she's brash and she shoots straight. There you go. Yeah.
Well, to throw in my 2 cents, this is my first time ever trying the Cypher system, although I had it on my radar for a long time. So that was interesting. I only found out about Old Gods Appalachia when I heard about when this particular version of the system came out. So that was actually really fun, kind of like getting immersed in this setting. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's got like kind of like that kind of Call of Cthulhu horror, but it's like in completely different mythos. A very unique setting. Because I can't think of any like Call of Cthulhu modules that would take place in Appalachia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Man,
this does make you want to.
Oh.
Oh yeah, this also makes you want to go and try out another Cypher system game, Tidal Blades.
Yeah, this is my first Cypher system one. I almost bought Numenera at Gen Con, but I spent way too much money at Gen Con. I was like, this was the last day. I was like, this is probably a bridge too far on this one. My wife
It's a very cool setting.
First David eventually, but definitely one that's on my radar now. Yeah, cause I like it. It's easy to run. Little outside of multiplication, which they have a table for you if you don't want to do multiplication. It's very easy. Math, not to do weird modifiers or anything like that. So pretty quick and easy, and runs with the narrative flow pretty well. With that, we're gonna give away a copy of this system. So I'm going to roll with Nightbot, and we'll see who gets to bring it home. Reminder: if you win, I'm going. Actually, let me post that in now. So you can email me at teganjgaming@gmail.com or my Discord. I think it's just Tegan J Gaming. Let me see what that is real quick. Yeah, just Tegan J Gaming as well. I'm gonna throw both of these in the chat. Email me your information, and we'll be able to get that over to Shauna, and I'll ask a few more questions. If you're in Alaska and Hawaii, it may be iffy for you. Got to not ask that question. She said U.S., so I think you're good. You're part of the U.S. Puerto Rico, we'll throw them in there too. You guys are. But.
Just making so many promises.
Really big shout out to Shauna Germain. She's the one who wrote this version of the Cypher system. Keep an eye out. We are doing I'm interviewing her next week for Meet the Maker. So we'll have that up sometime next week to get to see kind of her insight on how this system was made. So I'm looking forward to that. But with that, I'm gonna roll. Shout out to Stephen Francini, I believe it is. Sorry if I butchered that. So congratulations on winning that. Let me know what your information is. I'm going to get with Shauna and kind of see how that process will work. And you can email me at teganjgaming@gmail.com or hit me on Discord. Either one are a great way to find me. One of the downsides of switching from Twitch to YouTube with this one, Twitch, I can just message people. I can't message people on YouTube. So hit me up with one of those messages and we'll get your information and get that book over to you. But overall, massive thanks to Shauna Germain for sponsoring this and being the first time we can actually give away a hardcover copy So hopefully, Stephen, you are in the U.S. and in the continental U.S. We'll add on too. But thanks everybody for coming through. I forgot to bring the book by me, but our October game of the month is going to be Vampire the Masquerade, getting into the Halloween feel on that side. So stay tuned. And we'll be getting a review up for Old Gods a little bit later this weekend. But thanks for everybody for tuning in, and until next time.